This page is the cover featuring the groundbreaking Super Mario 64, heralded as expected, amazing. The main draw is a massive 50-page feature dedicated entirely to the game. This includes a thorough strategy guide breaking down content course by course, detailing exactly how to collect all the stars, and providing tactics for defeating the formidable archenemy, Bowser. The feature promises to be extremely detailed. Beyond the extensive Mario coverage, the magazine also offers the latest N64 information. It includes introductions to all tasks in the excellent flight simulator Pilotwings 64, covers the shogi title Strongest Habu Shogi, and reveals development screens for the upcoming puzzle game Kuwanpa. Furthermore, it completely covers information on domestic Japanese third-party games and software from America for the N64. A small note highlights that a reviewer named Takeguchi was completely engrossed playing the game, adding a personal touch to the coverage. This page is a full-page advert for the Nintendo 64 game Strongest Habu Shogi, endorsed by the Japan Shogi Association. It features 7 crown champion Yoshiharu Habu, and includes computer matches, tests, and various shogi puzzles. It is currently on sale for 9,800 yen, tax not included. This page is the table of contents for the magazine, detailing the features in the July 12, 1996 issue. The main highlight is an extensive guide for Super Mario 64, covering strategies for courses 7 through 9, the battle against Bowser, mastering Power Star Collection, and over 100 tips and techniques to enhance your gameplay experience. Other major features include a comprehensive guide to Pilotwings 64, exploring its islands, tasks, strategies, and characters. There's also coverage of Strongest Habu Shogi, detailing its modes and strategies, building on the previous page's focus on the game endorsed by shogi champion Yoshiharu Habu. The magazine previews upcoming 64 titles like Bomberman 64 and Super Power League 64 in a latest photo public release section, alongside other international 64 news. A special feature highlights new games across various platforms, including Sega Saturn, PlayStation, and Super Famicom, featuring titles such as Fighting Vipers, Star Ocean, and Dragon Quest II. Regular pages include reader contributions, columns, game news, and survey results. A legend explains the abbreviations used for different gaming consoles throughout the magazine. The next issue is scheduled for release on July 26. This page covers news and topics, highlighting significant events around June 1996. It focuses on the exciting start of Nintendo 64 in-store demos on June 14th, the same day the previous issue's appendix was released. Despite rainy weather in Tokyo, crowds gathered, eager to play Super Mario 64, showing the immense popularity of the console. The article notes that young people, and even businessmen were spotted, with some becoming so engrossed they cried when they had to stop playing. The image shows players captivated by Super Mario 64 at a demo station. The page also reports on the annual Tokyo Toy Show held from June 6th to 9th. While some companies' presence felt subdued, Sega and SNK had lively booths showcasing new titles. The report mentions the announcement of a new character for Virtua Fighter 3 as a highlight from Sega. The large photo captures the bustling atmosphere of the show floor. The text notes that the timing of events like the Tokyo Game Show and E3 might have affected participation, but upcoming events including the next Tokyo Toy Show in March are anticipated. Separately, there's a Fanta promotional campaign offering a chance to win Nintendo 64 consoles and game software by collecting seals from Fanta products, linking the popular drink brand with the new console's launch excitement. The next page is packed with major news from Sega and Sony. Sega is celebrating a huge milestone. The Saturn has officially surpassed 3 million units shipped domestically as of late May, selling 1 million units in the last 6 months, helped by a recent price cut. To celebrate, they're releasing a special edition of the awesome Game Nights Into Dreams, bundled with a multi-controller in July. Even bigger news for Sega is the imminent launch of the Sega Saturn Communication System on July 27th. Priced at 14,800 yen with the modem. This enables exciting features like internet browsing and X-Band online multiplayer, with services like Virtua Fighter Remix X-Band starting in August. It looks like online gaming is becoming a real focus. Over on the Sony side, the PlayStation has hit its own massive milestone, reaching 5 million units shipped worldwide. To mark this, Sony is dropping the price of the console to 19,800 yen. They're also launching PlayStation the Best, a series of past hit games re-released at a reduced price, featuring titles like Ridge Racer, Kingsfield 2, and Ace Combat. The page also highlights the Platinum Disc Awards ceremony for games selling over 1 million units, where Namco's Fighter Tekken 2 was a recipient. It's clear both platforms are seeing massive success and pushing forward with new hardware and budget software lines. This page invites readers on a journey to search for shining treasures for summertime play. It appears to be a promotion or contest offering various gaming prizes. Featured prominently are the Nintendo 64 and PlayStation consoles themselves, available as prizes. Highlighting the N64 library are iconic titles like Super Mario 64, showcasing the groundbreaking 3D platforming, and the flight simulation fun of Pilotwings 64. Also included is Strongest Habu Shogi, a title centered around the popular Japanese board game featuring shogi master Yoshiharu Habu. With a PlayStation, the page shows Fighting Illusion-esque 1 Grand Prix, bringing the popular martial arts tournament to the console, and the intriguing adventure title, Jikutante DD Pilot version. Rounding out the selection is a surprise inclusion from the previous generation, the Super Famicom RPG Classic Star Ocean, known for its innovative battle system and detailed world. Each item is listed with the number of winners who could receive it, suggesting a significant giveaway event celebrating summer gaming. The next page continues the exciting summer giveaway, presenting even more chances to win gaming goodies. This page features the Sega Saturn console itself, with 3 lucky winners set to receive one. Also up for grabs are copies of the classic sports title Decathlete, with 3 copies available for Saturn owners, and the dreamy platformer Nights into Dreams, with 5 winners getting the chance to play. PlayStation fans aren't left out, with a trial version of the atmospheric adventure game Twilight Syndrome being offered to a generous 100 winners. Additionally, several sets of collectible telephone cards, Teleka, are part of the prize pool, including a 3-card set from the RPG Maker series, 3 Teleka featuring Onkyo Kanaderu, Music Maker, 5 Teleka for Heroine Dream, and 3 Teleka for Noel, all featuring character artwork. Finally, 5 winners can score Virtua Fighter Kids t-shirts. The page also details the application method, requiring participants to fill out a survey found on page 89 and send it in via postcard by the July 12th deadline. A major 33-page Super Mario 64 feature celebrates the game's release. The article, heavily illustrated with Mario and game imagery, encourages players to experience the game's 3D world firsthand. Aimed at both new and returning players, the guide provides a complete walkthrough of levels 1 to 9, meticulously detailing Power Star locations. Even seasoned players might find inspiration to replay the game. The feature visually highlights key characters and enemies, and confirms coverage of all major courses and boss battles, including Bowser. This page serves as the table of contents for a major feature on Super Mario 64, reinforcing the game's importance with a large 64 logo. Bold headlines declare, "Until Bowser is defeated, Mario will advance," and introduce a complete introduction to the battle with Bowser. Prominently featured is a striking image of Mario facing off against Bowser's in a fiery arena, alongside 3D renders of iconic characters like Mario, a Goomba, a Boo, and Peach's castle, plus adorable penguins. The page also confirms the game is now on sale for 9,800 yen on Nintendo 64. The table of contents lists the extensive coverage within the magazine, detailing walkthroughs and guides for numerous levels including Mushroom Castle, Bomb Battlefield, Hoop's Fortress, Jolly Roger Bay, Cool Cool Mountain, Big Boo's Haunt, Hazy Maze Cave, Lethal Lava Land, Shifting Sand Land, Wet Dry World, and the Bowser stages in the Dark World and Fire Sea. This clearly lays out the comprehensive strategy guide promised for the game. This page dives into the actions and techniques in Super Mario 64 that go beyond the basic manual, aiming to make players 100 times better. Titled, "Before Playing, You Definitely Want to Know This." Part 1, Let's Remember the Actions. It suggests these are the techniques to stand out. The article explains that Mario's moves are so varied that not all could be in the manual, encouraging players to experiment. Several actions are highlighted with screenshots. Sinking into soft ground like sand or snow, recovering air underwater by touching the surface, described humorously as breathing with feet. Hanging from grid-like ceilings, performing a spin jump after defeating certain enemies, wall kicking, even on non-straight walls, and reverse sliding down slopes. It also points out charming, non-gameplay details like Mario sleeping if left idle near certain objects, such as a piranha plant. The final section urges players to challenge themselves, stating that the actions shown are just a fraction of what's possible, and combining them, like a wall kick after a triple jump, leads to more fun and discovering easily obtained power stars. The page is filled with screenshots demonstrating these various moves and details. This Super Mario 64 guide details enjoyable techniques for a perfect playthrough. Section 2 highlights hidden courses within the castle, containing power stars, not needed for completion, but for a full score. Section 3 emphasizes talking to every Toad. Some hold power stars and will give them to Mario. Section 4 details how to get special hats, wing cap, metal cap, vanish cap, by activating colored switches within hidden areas. The red switch's location is hinted at. The green and blue switch locations remain secret. This page provides a guide to exploring Peach's Castle and the initial courses in Super Mario 64. The large title highlights Peach's Castle itself, described as a small hill surrounded by mountains and the sea, serving as a hub with various rooms containing paintings that lead to different worlds. Mario emerges from a pipe and is ready to explore these strange and wonderful worlds. The guide details how to access several early courses. Bomb Battlefield is the first course, found by going to the middle second floor inside the castle and entering the door there. It's described as featuring the Bombs, Chain Chomps, and Koopa Troopas. Whomp's Fortress is on the first floor, accessed through the door on the far right. This course is dominated by the Whomp King, and features enemies like Whomps and Piranha Plants. Cool Mountain is also on the first floor, but requires collecting 3 power stars to enter its door on the left. This snowy world is home to penguins and sliding challenges, emphasizing the slippery terrain. Boo's Mansion, listed here as Rear Garden Teresa, can be accessed by going to the rear garden after collecting 12 or more power stars. Defeating the largest Boo there leads to the haunted house level, which lives up to its name. The page features screenshots showing gameplay from these levels, including Mario on a platform, a chain chomp, Whoomp, penguins, and a Boo, giving players a visual taste of the diverse environments within the castle's paintings. This page continues the Super Mario 64 guide, focusing on several key areas and boss encounters. The guide highlights the King's Fortress, likely a revisit or a boss area related to Whomp's Fortress, detailing a tricky section to obtain a power star and referencing the Whoomp King. Next is Pirate's Cove, known internationally as Jolly Roger Bay, accessed from the second floor of Peach's Castle. This level focuses heavily on underwater exploration, featuring a sunken ship and treasure, and warns about a large eel. A large image provides a full view of Peach's Castle, the central hub world. The guide also covers the Horror House, referring to Boo's Mansion. Accessed from the castle's rear garden, the path to this level involves a painting that unexpectedly leads to the world of the first Bowser battle. The section describes the encounter with Bowser, emphasizing his fiery attacks and size. The page uses distinct Japanese terms or sounds for the boss encounters, suggesting more detailed coverage of these fights on subsequent pages. This page dives into the very first course in Super Mario 64, Bomb Battlefield. It describes the level as a dynamic environment blending mountains and fields, more like a battlefield than a peaceful landscape, due to wandering bombs, aggressive chain chomps, rolling iron balls, and airborne water bombs. The ultimate goal here is reaching the mountaintop to confront the Bomb King, defeating him to earn the first power star. The guide notes, this introductory stage offers plenty of challenge right from the start. The page then breaks down how to acquire the first 3 stars within this level. The first star, Bomb King on the mountaintop, is obtained by defeating the king himself. The hint is in the star's name, requiring you to pick him up from behind and throw him. The star, Koopa Troopa Race, involves finding a large Koopa Troopa near the start after the king is gone, and winning a race against him back up to the mountaintop. Finally, the third star, Blast Off to the Sky Island, is earned by speaking to a red bomb at the level's beginning, who grants access to a cannon, allowing Mario to blast off to a floating island in the sky. The page includes helpful screenshots demonstrating key moments, like the Bomb King fight, the Koopa Troopa race, and using the cannon. This page continues the adventure in Super Mario 64, delving further into the initial course, Bomb Battlefield, under the title Chain Chomp Barks. The Mario Story section recounts the beginning of the journey, entering the painting, meeting the Bomb King, the encounter with black bombs, and finding a path up the mountain, navigating past the formidable chain chomp. Pictured here are tips on earning more power stars within the level. Star 4 is acquired by meticulously collecting all 8 red coins scattered throughout the course. Gathering them all rewards you with a star. Star 5 involves utilizing the cannon, accessible after speaking to the red bomb, to launch Mario onto the floating island in the sky, where the star awaits. Star 6 challenges you to deal with the chained chain chomp. The star is located near its doghouse, and the text hints at a method to break the cage-blocking access. A one-point lecture also details how to slide effectively using a Koopa shell. The page is filled with screenshots illustrating these key moments, including collecting red coins, using the cannon to reach the Sky Island, encountering the chain chomp, and the Koopa shell sliding technique. The next page moves on to the second course in Super Mario 64, Hoomp's Fortress. Titled Defeating Hoomp, this section introduces the challenging floating island level dominated by the formidable Hoomp King. The article highlights the dangerous nature of the airborne terrain, emphasizing careful navigation. New actions like the ground pound are key here, adding to the excitement and challenge. Mastering the cannon, which becomes available, is crucial for reaching distant areas and finding stars, requiring practice to aim effectively for flying freely. The page details how to earn 3 power stars in this course. Star 1 involves defeating the Hoomp King atop the fortress by luring him into a fall and using a ground pound. Star 2 requires climbing the fortress tower to reach the very top, stressing the need for careful footing on the narrow platforms. Star 3 involves using the cannon to blast Mario to a hard-to-reach spot where the star is located, advising players to aim slightly high. Screenshots throughout the page illustrate these key moments, including battling the Hoomp King, ascending the tower, and using the cannon to find the star. The next page continues the Super Mario 64 coverage, focusing again on Hoomp's Fortress, titled Defeat Thwomp. This part is presented as Good Kids Mario Story 2, a narrative walkthrough. It mentions encountering the level's key enemies and features. A handy tip suggests players can ride the large birds in the level to get around. The page then details how to collect 3 more power stars. Star 4 is obtained by collecting the 8 red coins scattered across the floating islands, with a tip to use camera angles to find them. Star 5 involves reaching a birdcage, offering 2 methods, using the cannon or riding a bird, recommending the bird for a safer and more enjoyable journey. Star 6 is presented as a tricky hint involving the cannon and breaking a specific structure. The commentary reflects on the challenges and fun of exploring the level, including getting hit by obstacles, and the exhilaration of flying. This page focuses on the third area, Jolly Roger Bay, titled Eel Goes Boom, and You Can't Breathe Underwater. The level centers around Mario's swimming abilities, a new challenge after the previous stages. It highlights navigating the deep water, exploring the sunken ship, collecting red coins guarded by a clam, venturing into an underwater cave for treasure, and facing off against the giant eel. The commentary notes that mastering swimming is crucial for success in this level, suggesting it might be a tough but rewarding adventure. The page details how to acquire 3 power stars within Jolly Roger Bay. Star 1, Treasure of the Sunken Ship, is found inside the sunken vessel. Players must enter the ship, presumably after dealing with the eel, and open 4 treasure chests in a specific order to drain the water and reveal the star. Star 2, Come Out Giant Eel, involves the level's namesake creature. The giant eel appears, and the star is attached to its tail, requiring players to approach it carefully to collect the prize. Star 3, Treasure of the Underwater Cave, is located within a cave on the seabed. Similar to the sunken ship, there are 4 treasure chests inside that must be opened in a correct sequence to make the star appear. Failing to open them in the right order results in being shocked, emphasizing the need for caution. This page continues the guide to Super Mario 64's Jolly Roger Bay. The Mario Story 3 section recounts the player's experience navigating the underwater level, dealing with the tricky treasure chests inside the sunken ship, discovering one as a trap that shocks you, and eventually finding a switch that raises the ship, revealing a power star on its deck. A one-point hint advises players that collecting coins, even underwater, helps recover Mario's health, which is crucial given the limited breath supply. The guide then details how to obtain 3 more stars. Star 4, Red Coins of the Sunken Ship, requires collecting all 8 red coins scattered underwater and on pillars, noting it's best to grab the coin on the ship's deck last, as that's where the star appears. Star 5, Jump to the Stone Pillars, involves talking to the red bomb on a small island to activate a cannon, which Mario can then use to blast himself towards 3 distant stone pillars. The star is found by jumping behind one of the cliffs. Star 6, Pass Through the Spouting Water, is located near a powerful waterspout on the seabed. The strong current makes it impossible to swim directly to the star, hinting that a different approach is needed. This page covers Cool Mountain in Super Mario 64, a level characterized by its constantly falling snow and extremely slippery terrain. The whole stage is essentially one large mountain, making navigation tricky. The guide highlights that even walking on flat ground or bridges can lead to a nasty tumble, suggesting that sliding down is often the best way to get around from the summit. The page details how to obtain the first 3 power stars in this icy world. Star 1 is earned by finding the cabin chimney and sliding down into the Super Snow Slide course, successfully reaching the end without falling off. Star 2 requires you to locate a lost baby penguin somewhere in the expansive snowy field outside the cabin, and safely return it to its waiting mother near a pond. Finally, for Star 3, after reuniting the baby penguin, you gain the ability to race the large adult penguin down the slide course you completed earlier. Beat him to the finish line, and the power star is yours. Screenshots show Mario sliding, the cabin entrance, the rickety bridge, and the penguins themselves, offering a glimpse into this challenging but fun snowy stage. This page continues the guide for Cool Mountain in Super Mario 64. The Mario Story for Good Kids Part 4 section recounts a brief narrative about Mario getting lost in the snowy world, trying to help a baby penguin, falling into icy water, and the baby being reunited with its giant parent. A 1-point mustache lecture tip offers advice on winning the penguin race, Star 3 from the previous page, suggesting staying in the middle of the slide rather than hugging the inside corner and mentioning a potential shortcut rumor. The guide then details how to find the remaining power stars. Star 4 is earned by collecting the 8 red coins scattered across challenging locations like near the cabins, on a tree, by a broken bridge, at the gondola, and close to cliff edges, emphasizing caution to avoid falling. Star 5 involves rolling a small snowball down the mountain to create the body of a giant snowman. Simply sliding down in front of the snowball will cause it to grow. Star 6 is a hidden star accessible after talking to a bomb near the gondola, which opens a cannon by the lower cabin. Using this cannon allows Mario to reach a high area, from which the star can be obtained with a couple of well-timed wall kicks. Screenshots throughout the page show Mario collecting coins, the giant rolling snowball, and executing wall kicks to reach the stars. This page jumps into the spooky Course 5 of Super Mario 64, known in English as Big Boo's Haunt. Once you've gathered at least 12 power stars, you can access this level by heading to the castle's backyard and chasing a Boo into the mansion portrait. The guide notes the mansion's eerie ambiance, filled with tricks like a moving piano and hostile coffins, suggesting the vanish cap is useful for sneaking past or surprising Boos. The first star, Find the Big Boo, involves defeating the smaller Boos scattered throughout the mansion's various rooms. Doing so causes the main Big Boo to appear in the ground floor hall. Defeat him in 3 hits to claim the star. For the second star, Boo's Merry-Go-Round, you must find and defeat all the Boos that emerge from paintings on the floor and wall in a large underground room. Defeating the last one, another Big Boo, earns you this star. The third star, The Mystery of the Haunted Bookshelves, requires navigating a library room on the 2nd floor where books fly out at you. This room is a dead end, and solving the puzzle involves finding a specific interaction point within the room. This Super Mario 64 guide details navigating Big Boo's Haunt, a spooky mansion. Players must collect red coins, defeat a moving piano puzzle and ghostly enemies, and confront the boss Boo to obtain a key. Star 4 requires finding hidden red coins, Star 5 involves reaching a high balcony boss, and Star 6 requires defeating a challenging Mr. I enemy in a hidden room. The guide provides tips, a narrative walkthrough, and screenshots to aid players in completing the level. This page continues the Super Mario 64 guide, focusing on Bowser in the Dark World, the first encounter with the King of the Koopas. It outlines the challenging path to reach Bowser's lair, describing the obstacles like spinning platforms, fiery hazards, and pitfalls, highlighting that even stepping off slightly can lead to falling into the Dark World. The guide then transitions into a 1-point lecture special edition on how to defeat Bowser. It explains that frontal attacks like punches and kicks are ineffective due to his tough shell. The key strategy is to get behind Bowser and grab his tail. The best opportunity to do this is when he is immobile while breathing fire. Once grabbed, you spin Bowser around and throw him into the bombs scattered around the arena. The guide emphasizes the importance of timing and positioning behind him. Screenshots show Mario navigating the level, encountering Goombas and bombs, finding hidden paths, and finally facing off against Bowsers in the circular arena. This page continues the guide to defeating Bowsers in Super Mario 64, focusing on the final steps after reaching his arena. It details the core strategy. First, get behind Bowser when he's vulnerable, and grab his tail by pressing the B button. Second, spin the 3D analog stick rapidly to swing him around. The faster you spin, the farther Bowser will be thrown. Finally, the crucial step is to accurately throw Bowsers into one of the bombs scattered around the fighting area. A winning technique is described. After grabbing the tail, change the camera view while spinning to position a bomb in front of you. Then throw carefully. This makes high-speed spinning less necessary and improves timing. The page concludes with, "Bowser defeated!" After illustrating these steps with screenshots showing Mario grabbing Bowser, spinning him, and Bowser lying defeated after being hit by a bomb. The next page features a piece titled, "To the Clumsy Writer, Super Mario 64, detailing the experiences of a player who admits to being unskilled." The writer describes picking up the controller with trepidation, noting the feel of the 3D stick, and practicing movement around the castle before heading into the first course. They comment on Mario's sometimes wobbly movement, but find the sticks feel good overall. The section, "I Hate Bombs," discusses an encounter with the chain chomp, Wan Wan, in Course 1, questioning why it isn't chained and feeling targeted, encouraging readers to laugh at their predicament. Screenshots illustrate Mario approaching and being chased by the large enemy. Further down, under the heading, "Mario's Embarrassing Photos," the writer explains, "These images show Mario's various comical deaths rather than anything inappropriate." They mention being tired after playing for an hour, but are impressed by the game's visuals. The writer lists several ways Mario can meet his demise: crushed, burned, electrocuted, drowned, but finds the feeling of falling the most exhilarating. The page includes screenshots depicting Mario being flattened by a thwomp and failing to avoid a piranha plant in Course 2, reflecting the writer's struggles and humorous perspective on failure in the game. The next page continues, "The Super Mario 64, Hard-Fought Battle Diary," from the perspective of a self-proclaimed clumsy writer. Picking themselves up, they move on to discuss Course 2, highlighting the struggle of climbing a cliff path guarded by a piranha plant. Despite attempting a cautious approach, they fail and fall. The writer confusingly describes the boss of this course, likely King Bob-omb, as a wall monster who tries to crush Mario by falling, an attempt which results in the writer getting flattened. The page also features other frustrating moments, including the difficult underwater controls where Mario frequently drowns. Visuals depict Mario struggling beneath the surface, and a section dedicated to decisive moments underwater, which the writer humorously suggests isn't decisive, but rather highlights their ineptitude. Further sections cover challenging enemies like the giant snowman, Mr. Blizzard, on a narrow bridge, describing the brutal nature of characters that look cute. The writer also encounters creepy Big Eyes, Big Boo's eyes, comparing them to a famous Japanese character and finding them unsettling. Finally, the diary entry touches upon a Bowser stage, noting the electrified floor that apparently makes the writer's brain feel numb from the difficulty. This page features a special section titled, "Dissecting Our Mario," focusing on Mario's transition to 3D in Super Mario 64. The article examines his new polygonal form and the secrets behind his actions, which are described as full of speed and comicality. One section delves into his appearance, noting his childish bearded face. Despite his unclear age, his face is seen as young, with a mysterious mustache that might help him sense the wind. Another part dissects his body, humorously calling his physique the world's best beer gut, which makes him look middle-aged. However, this doesn't hinder his surprising resilience. Screenshots show him being flattened by a thwomp but instantly recovering, like plastic or vinyl. Finally, the piece examines his powerful engine heart, highlighting his incredible stamina, comparable to a marathon runner, allowing him to dash for hours and easily climb cliffs. The author notes that his expressiveness, showing joy and impatience, makes the difficult gameplay all the more enjoyable. This page continues the detailed analysis of Mario's transition to 3D in Super Mario 64, focusing on his new and enhanced abilities tied to specific parts of his body. It examines the Mario cap, revealing it's more than just headwear but a powerful item. Different caps grant temporary transformations like flight with the wing cap, transparency with the vanish cap, and becoming metal, fundamentally changing Mario's form. The Mario hand section highlights Mario's hidden strength. While known for jumping, his hands now showcase incredible power, allowing him to lift and throw enemies significantly larger than himself, a major departure from his previous lack of offensive hand-based abilities like fireballs in this game. The Mario hip introduces the new hip drop move. This action, where Mario pounds the ground with his backside after a mid-air spin, is versatile, used for defeating enemies, hitting switches, and breaking objects, proving essential for progression. Finally, the Mario leg emphasizes that despite all the new actions like running and flying, jumping remains the core of Mario's movement. Mastering the combination of leg-based techniques and the new 3D controls is crucial for tackling the game's challenges and truly feeling connected to Mario's actions in the 3D world. This page dives into Wet Dry World from Super Mario 64, known here as Dossie Swims or Dossie in Wet Dry World. This cavernous level is described as having a metal entrance and feeling like a large, disused mine with interconnected sections, featuring elements like operating lifts and smoky mazes. However, deep within lies a massive underground lake where the gentle Dory swims, offering a moment of calm in the otherwise eerie environment. The page highlights how this level utilizes techniques like fluttering and kicking. It then details how to obtain 3 stars within the levels. The first star is found in the underground lake, obtained by reaching the friendly Dory swimming around a small island and riding on its back. The second star involves collecting red coins located on operating lifts in a factory-like area. Players are warned that the lifts shake when hitting walls. The third star requires obtaining the metal cap, which allows Mario to walk underwater, enabling him to dash through the level effectively. Several screenshots illustrate key moments, including Mario entering the cave, swimming, using the metal cap, riding a lift to collect red coins, and even viewing the level map. This page focuses on the Hazy Maze cave level in Super Mario 64, titled Gas Hiss. The Good Kids Mario story continues, recounting Mario escaping Bowser's trap but failing to defeat him, vowing to collect more power stars to try again. A one-point mustache lecture warns about the level's dangerous smoky maze, filled with noxious yellow gas. The guide then details how to obtain 3 more stars. Star 4, getting through the smoky maze, emphasizes the peril of the gas and advises using the metal cap to survive. Star 5, emergency exit of the smoky maze, directs players to find the exit, reminding them to use the map found near the entrance. Star 6, secret of the rolling rock, describes encountering a large rolling rock blocking the path, noting it cannot be broken or jumped over, posing a puzzle for the player. Screenshots show Mario navigating the toxic gas, using a lift, and confronting the mysterious rolling rock. This page covers Course 7 of Super Mario 64, known as Lethal Lava Land, humorously titled Fun Butt Contest here because your butt will burn due to the level's fiery nature. The main text describes the level as a scorching challenge filled with lava, volcanoes, fire bars, and flame emitters, noting the heat is intense like boiling udon. The primary enemy is the dark Donketsu, likely the Thwomp or bully, who tries to knock Mario into the lava. The guide advises using kicks or hip drops near ledges to defeat them. 3 power stars are detailed. Star 1, knock down the boss Donketsu, tasks players with defeating a giant thwomp by pushing it off the edge. Simply pushing won't work, requiring strategic hits after jumping. Star 2, fight Donketsu Core, involves defeating a group of 3 smaller enemies protecting an area, similar to the first star but with multiple foes, and warns to save coins for health recovery. Star 3, the 8 coins of the 15 puzzle, guides players to collect the 8 red coins within the sliding tile puzzle area, noting the floor moves but suggests a trial-and-error approach can still be effective. Screenshots showcase Mario navigating the fiery environment, confronting enemies, and tackling the puzzle challenge. The level is described as a serious fight, with no room for error. This page continues the coverage of Super Mario 64's Course 7, Lethal Lava Land. The main section is a narrative entry titled Mario Story 7, where the author recounts discovering this vast underground area by entering a painting of fire. They describe the intense heat, the unstable platforms floating on lava, and the encounter with the black, round donketsu enemies, bullies or thwomps. The text explains how to defeat the regular enemies by luring them to the edge and using a hip drop to knock them into the lava, a tactic that didn't work on the boss version. The page also details 3 more power stars. Star 4, Rolling Log Crossing, describes a platforming challenge over logs, advising players to cross calmly and avoid reckless jumps. Star 5, Volcano Power, is described as a secret star whose location is unknown while fighting the enemies, but confirmed to exist within Course 7, prompting the player to search near the volcano. Star 6, Volcano Lift Tour, involves navigating lifts and climbing poles, requiring practiced continuous jumps, and suggests imagining the space is more enjoyable than memorizing patterns. A quick tip section reinforces using the hip drop near ledges to defeat the bullies. This page moves on to cover Course 8, Shifting Sandland, titled Pyramid in the Desert, with the main article called Anywhere in the Desert Sky, suggesting the importance of flight. The text describes this course as deeply mysterious and adventure-filled, noting the pyramid is not a historical artifact, but a place where Bowser has hidden power stars. It's highlighted as a course packed with tricks and puzzles. Screenshots show the vast desert landscape, the rolling block enemies known as thwomps or pokey, and the precarious sandpit area where these enemies roam. The text warns that falling into the quicksand when dealing with these enemies means restarting. The page details 3 power stars. The first, Playful Vulture Klepto, involves hitting the flying condor enemy, Klepto, to get the star. The text emphasizes practicing with the wing cap here. The second star, at the top of the pyramid, requires reaching the summit, again suggesting the wing cap is essential. The third star, inside the giant pyramid, describes navigating a maze within the pyramid's interior, where falling doesn't kill Mario but sends him back to the start point, making precision crucial. A large illustration of wing cap Mario reinforces the flying theme. This page continues the coverage of Super Mario 64's Shifting Sandland course, highlighting more challenges and power stars. A narrative section recounts using the wing cap obtained from a nearby block and flying towards the vulture enemy, Klepto, emphasizing the excitement of tackling it from the air. A tip section reinforces this, suggesting aiming for Klepto, noting it might seem tricky but can be hit by flying from a high platform. Screenshots show Mario using the wing cap, flying into the desert, swimming in the oasis, and using a cannon. The page details the remaining power stars for this course. Star 4. To the one standing on the 4 pillars, a task requiring wing cap skill. Standing on the 4 pillars surrounding the pyramid triggers an event, left for the player to discover. Star 5. Fly around for 8 coins. This star involves collecting 8 red coins, noting some are earned by foot near the start and the oasis, but implies flying is key for others. Star 6. Mystery of the Giant Pyramid, described as the last hidden star in the pyramid. Players must thoroughly explore the interior, using various jump techniques to reach hidden areas. Screenshots show Mario navigating the pyramid's depths, dealing with enemies, and finding the star. The content stresses the importance of mastering the wing cap and precise platforming, especially within the pyramid's maze-like structure. This page covers Area 9, Bowser's Secret Base, in Super Mario 64, specifically focusing on the Waterland course. The main title highlights the Manta Ray, suggesting a boss or significant encounter. The text describes the challenges of the underwater environment, including difficult movement, enemies like Hucket crabs and dangerous whirlpools, and the specific threat posed by the Manta Ray. Health recovery underwater is noted as tricky, relying on coins or surfacing. The page details 3 power stars found here. Star 1 involves locating Bowser's submarine and activating a switch to climb on top. Star 2 requires interacting with a treasure chest found within a powerful whirlpool. Star 3 is collecting red coins scattered around the submarine area, but this star cannot be obtained until after defeating the second Bowser boss encounter. Screenshots illustrate key points like climbing near the submarine, the intense whirlpool, collecting the star from the chest, and navigating the environment near the red coins. The level precedes the second fight against Bowser. This page covers the Jolly Roger Bay level from Super Mario 64, presented as the 9th part of the Good Kids Mario story, walkthrough, and featuring the ninth one-point mustache lecture. The main text describes exploring the level's underwater environment, discovering a warp zone leading to a clearer area, finding scattered treasure chests, and encountering a significant whirlpool. It details navigating the water and the surprising discovery of a large submarine, which is revealed to be how Bowser sent his forces into the castle. The mustache lecture focuses on the large manta ray, explaining it appears under certain conditions and provides a gift. The page breaks down how to obtain specific power stars in the level. Star 4 is earned by swimming through the powerful underwater current, Star 5 is received from the manta ray, and Star 6 highlights the utility of the metal cap and vanish cap underwater, noting that Metal Mario can walk on the seabed, essential for reaching the star near the submarine. The accompanying screenshots show key moments and areas within the level, including Mario underwater, interacting with the manta ray, and the prominent submarine. This page features a review of Super Mario 64 from the perspective of a clumsy rider. The top section details the struggle in the underwater stage, Course 3, Jolly Roger Bay, where the rider found the controls challenging compared to land, particularly when dealing with obstacles like the eel. Turning quickly was difficult, and getting the star from the eel's tail proved frustrating. The right section covers Course 4, Cool Mountain, specifically the ice slide, which the writer found terrifying and difficult, stating they fell around 100 times. Navigating the slippery, sloped path with the analog stick alone was tricky, requiring jumps to regain balance. Other sections feature screenshots and brief captions, highlighting different gameplay challenges. An embarrassing photo of Mario hanging, navigating narrow paths, avoiding rolling iron balls, likely Hoomps Fortress or Tall Mountain, and experiencing the feeling of falling from great heights. The overall tone is that of a player recounting their challenging but engaging experience with the game's diverse levels. This page continues the Super Mario 64 experience from the perspective of the writer, who admits they are getting used to action controls despite their struggles, finding the frequent falls almost enjoyable. They humorously refer to the game as a death game. The main focus shifts to the Big Boo's haunt level, described as a scary ghost house. The writer finds the course strange and feels controlling Mario is difficult, like their hands aren't their own. They compare the game to a virtual amusement park filled with surprises, recounting being startled by the mad piano and expressing a fear of the giant eyeball ghost encountered later in the level. A large image shows Mario's face with the text, "Mario-kun, sorry?" accompanied by a caption wondering how many times they've seen that pathetic face and if Mario looks resentful, stating their own heart feels a bit blue. The page also revisits the topic of sliders, showing screenshots of Mario sliding and falling, with text describing the sensation of falling as exhilarating. Additional screenshots show Mario swimming underwater in Jolly Roger Bay, collecting red coins while low on oxygen, attempting a difficult jump on a slider, and finally, dying by fire, with the writer offering a dramatic farewell to the burned-out Mario. This page continues the Super Mario 64 coverage, with the large title proclaiming, "Throw it again!" The focus shifts to the second battle against Bowser's, located in a treacherous lava-filled course. The text notes that like the previous Bowser fight, this level is filled with difficult traps, although the path itself is straightforward. Controlling the camera using Lakitu, referred to as Jugem, to get a clear view, is highlighted as important. Screenshots show Mario navigating platforms above lava and confronting Bowser's. A one-point mustache lecture offers advice for when you inevitably fall into the lava. Don't panic! Mario can still be controlled even while burning and bouncing, and you can guide him back to solid ground to survive. A summary column explains the strategy for defeating Bowser the second time. Grab his tail, spin him around, and throw him into one of the surrounding bombs, just like the first fight. However, it warns that this time Bowser has improved footwork, making it harder to get close. The page emphasizes that successfully defeating Bowser in this battle signifies the beginning of the second half of Mario's grand adventure. The vertical text on the left labels this section, Bowser of the Sea of Fire. A large arrow indicates that the story continues in the next issue. The next page features two popular idols, Yuko Anai and Nanako Okuchi, celebrating the long-awaited launch of the Nintendo 64. To commemorate the release, these two idols are challenging a game on the new console for the very first time. The text highlights that neither of them has ever held a controller before or played a Nintendo 64 game. The page poses the question of what kind of gameplay they will exhibit during this exciting first experience with the Nintendo 64 and its flagship title, Super Mario 64, shown on the game box one of them is holding. This page kicks off a special interview series focused on Super Mario 64, featuring celebrities trying the game for the first time. Here, we see idol Yuko Anai, who is challenging the game on the Nintendo 64. She's described as a game-loving idol, and her initial impression is that Mario's movements are incredibly cute. The page highlights this as her very first attempt at playing Super Mario 64. There's also a small profile box with some details about her, mentioning her work as a radio personality and an upcoming V-Cinema project. This page continues the special interview series, featuring idol Yuko Anai reacting to the Nintendo 64. She expresses surprise at the console's small size, having expected it to be larger than the Super Famicom given its high performance. She also notices the 4 controller ports, recognizing their importance for multiplayer games like Mario Kart and Kirby, which she mentions enjoying. She describes trying the demo and seeing Mario, commenting on the different feeling compared to previous games, and how his full body movements are fascinating. The page includes photos of her holding the 64 controller and several portrait shots. This page continues the feature with idol Yuko Anai trying out the Nintendo 64, this time diving into Super Mario 64 gameplay. The title highlights her experience. It's quite difficult to make progress. Yuko mentions having played previous Mario games, including Mario Collection, Super Mario All-Stars, and notes the significant difference between the traditional side-scrolling perspective and the 3D world of Super Mario 64. She finds it challenging initially, especially getting used to the analog stick controls and the perspective controlled by a camera character. Despite the difficulty, she expresses surprise and enjoyment at Mario's new actions and voice lines. Specific challenges she faced included falling off stages, getting pushed by enemies, and navigating the environment, such as needing to wall jump or stick to walls. She also recounts interacting with characters like Toad to get information, comparing it to an RPG. She describes getting visibly excited and even shouting when she messes up, showing how engrossed she became in the game. A side panel notes her gaming history, mentioning she owns multiple consoles like PlayStation, Saturn, Super Famicom, and Mega Drive, most of which were received as gifts. She is currently hooked on Virtua Cop on the Saturn. The photos show her playing enthusiastically. This page continues the interview with idol Yuko Anai as she experiences Super Mario 64. The special feature highlights her getting absolutely hooked on the game. Yuko continues to learn Mario's moves, including the triple jump, finding them useful. She successfully identifies the Bomb King and learns how to defeat him by grabbing him from behind and throwing him. After a few attempts and some struggle, she manages to beat him, finds a star, and excitedly realizes this is how you progress in the game. She confirms she's now completely addicted and plans to buy the game and play it all the way to the end without giving up, eager to keep moving forward. She reflects on the game's initial difficulty with controls and the open environment, noting that the sheer freedom of the vast map was initially confusing, but becomes fun as you experiment and find your own way to play. Looking ahead, she expresses a specific desire to try spinning Bowser by his tail, which looks incredibly fun to her. A sidebar mentions her general love for games, particularly puzzle games, and her current obsession with Magical Drop 2 at the arcade, hinting that fans might even spot her gaming there. The feature concludes by mentioning other future challenges she's interested in, like the penguin race, encouraging her to master the game's techniques. This page continues the special interview about Super Mario 64 with idol Yuko Anai. She expresses her initial impressions, noting that the game's scale feels significantly different from previous Mario games, and that the 3D Mario character is cute. She is surprised by the small size of the cartridge, and eager to try the game firsthand, having seen the long lines of people waiting to play demos. She learns about the analog stick controls, and finds it interesting how the degree of tilt affects Mario's movement, allowing for both walking and running. She mentions finding the Choco Mountain level particularly cute. Yuko concludes that playing the game herself is the only way to truly grasp its appeal, as it feels very different from what she saw in magazines or commercials, emphasizing the freedom of movement. A caption highlights her intense interest and desire to play immediately. This page continues the special interview, this time featuring actress and TV personality Nanako Okochi, trying out Super Mario 64 on the Nintendo 64. She shares her impressions of the N64 controller, finding it easy to hold and the analog stick interesting after getting accustomed to it. Nanako is clearly impressed by the game's 3D graphics, noting how the screen feels, quote, 3D, and finding Mario's movements cute, making her want to play repeatedly. She learns that the seg buttons are used to change the viewpoint, which she finds exciting because it allows viewing Mario from different angles, a feature possible due to the game's 3D nature. The page also includes a profile for Nanako Okochi, detailing her recent TV work, including starring in an upcoming NHK special, and basic profile information like her birthday and height. The main image shows her smiling and holding the Nintendo 64 controller, while smaller photos capture her enthusiastic reactions while playing. Nanako Okochi, in a Super Mario 64 interview, describes her struggles and progress with the Bob-Omb King level. She finds controlling Mario precisely, particularly maneuvering behind the enemy, challenging. She experiments with analog stick movements, noting the surprising freedom of control. Trying a sub-game, sliding down a slope, she learns to aim for speed or coins, finding the curves tricky but enjoyable. After clearing the first stage, she expresses delight in the direct control over Mario. The interview reveals a surprising gaming history, including experience with Famicom, Game Boy, and even hidden Saturn passion. Photos show her intense focus and enthusiasm. This page features a continuation of the interview with Nanako Okochi about her experience with Super Mario 64. She discusses how the game makes her feel emotionally invested, finding Mario's reaction when he gets hurt after a mistake quite pitiful, which she believes shows how amazing the game is. Looking towards the future, she expresses a desire to see a Mario version of Disneyland, a theme park concept featuring attractions like Peach's Castle, roller coasters, and haunted mansions, where fans could freely experience the world in 3D. She finds Mario's movements as charming as a Disney character, and hopes to see the character brought to life in this way. The page also provides information about her agency's website for those interested in learning more about her. This page features players expressing their hopes and expectations for Super Mario 64. Beyond just idols, regular players are eagerly awaiting the Nintendo 64's release and share what they want to see. Key desires include the ability to view a full map in the game's 3D environments to help with navigation, and wanting Mario to have more voice lines, reacting to actions like jumping or taking damage, similar to what's already shown in previews. Players also express interest in competitive multiplayer modes, referencing games like Mario Kart or Kirby, suggesting potential versus play might be possible with the console's features. Finally, there's a wish for dedicated peripheral joysticks, especially for future games like flight simulators or racing titles. The page includes screenshots showing Mario in various areas of the game and a picture of the Nintendo 64 controller. There's also a special giveaway featuring signed boards from Yuko Anai and Nanako Okochi. This page kicks off a new game manga series by Tetsuya Toshiro, titled Zenryaku Rokuyon-sama, to Lord Rokuyon, focusing on the Super Mario 64 arc. The comic offers a humorous look at the game world, primarily from the perspective of Mario's enemies, specifically Boos. The panels show the Boos in a panic upon hearing that Mario has returned. Mario then appears, looking quite jovial. He addresses some characters, including one he calls Taco, and another he refers to as Sakura, much to their apparent displeasure. One panel shows Luigi on the ground, while a Boo wonders if long-running series characters all end up like this. The crowned character at the end, likely a boss like King Boo, is particularly offended by being called Sakura. It's a fun, enemy-centric take on the start of the Super Mario 64 adventure. This page is titled Flat Mario and Full of Good Things, continuing the humorous Super Mario 64 manga series by Tetsuya Toshiro. The panels depict Mario experiencing the wonders of 3D gaming, celebrating the shift from 2D with exclamations of, "It's 3D! I'm so happy!" The strip showcases classic Super Mario 64 gameplay elements, like jumping, dealing with enemies such as the Cooligans from Cool Mountain, and taking a tumble. There's a funny moment where Mario is shown momentarily turning into his classic 8-bit Famicom sprite, a gag about getting hurt in the new 3D world and reverting to his pixelated form. Another panel shows Mario distracted by betting tickets and other odd items while attempting to rescue a character from a cage, likely a Toad, who is understandably frustrated that Mario isn't focused on the rescue. The author, Tetsuya Toshiro, introduces himself in a note, confirming this manga will cover Nintendo 64 games, and humorously advises readers to ask for help with confusing game-specific punchlines. The page captures the fun and sometimes chaotic experience of playing Super Mario 64. This page is titled, Which One? And continues the humorous Super Mario 64 manga by by Tetsuya Toshiro. The strip features several gags centered around confusion and unconventional problem-solving. One panel shows Mario inside a Koopa Troopa shell, making him look similar to a bomb, leading to confusion about which is which. Another gag involves sorting a Goomba and a bomb into trash cans labeled non-burnable waste and raw garbage, which predictably ends with an explosion. A character resembling Wario appears, but the accompanying text humorously denies it's him, while also commenting on the character's seasoned design. In another strip, Mario is stuck at a locked door familiar from commercials. Instead of finding a key conventionally, he tries to pick the large keyhole with his finger, following the principle of being bold and delicate, like a professional swindler. He's even advised to wipe away fingerprints, while someone notes that kids play this game too, adding to the absurdity. Mario succeeds in opening the lock with his finger. The page concludes by teasing that Mario will appear in various forms in the next installment. This page marks the beginning of a new serialization. The top panel presents a grand, almost fantastical scene of a city nestled among mountains under a starry sky, accompanied by text declaring the start of the serialization and hinting at an opened world where the protagonist learns to fly for the first time. This sets a dramatic tone for the series. The bottom panel then shifts drastically, depicting a scene from the character's past during his third year of elementary school. We see a boy looking out a window during the fifth period class on a day as summer approaches. A large soccer ball is prominent in the foreground, suggesting a potential connection between the past event, sports, and the later ability to fly or enter a new world. The contrast between the epic scope of the top panel and the mundane school setting below implies this past moment was pivotal. The next page introduces the title and creators of the new serialization teased on the previous page. The large title at the top reads, Popcorn Dragoon Core 1, with a small vintage plane encircled by the word dragon. Below the title, text identifies the series as featuring a traveler from the sky, with the original work credited to Tomoyuki Fujinami and the manga by Ryo Sasaki. The top image shows a panoramic view of mountains and a city under a starry sky. The bottom section features two panels. The left panel shows a character sitting in what appears to be a car or other vehicle, looking out. A speech bubble contains text stating, "Quietly, he rode a dragon and descended from the sky." The right panel shows the view outside the vehicle window, depicting a city street and something large lying near the water's edge, potentially the dragon mentioned in the text. This page confirms the serialization is a manga, and builds upon the sky theme from the previous page by introducing a dragon as the method of travel. This page depicts the arrival of the dragon and its rider from the sky. A massive dragon-like creature is shown resting near buildings as a large man in a flight suit stands on its head. Sound effects indicate the creature is making noise. In the next panel, the protagonist and others react with shock, exclaiming how incredibly big the creature is, and noting that the man, identified later as an old man, is also huge. Finally, the protagonist asks the man where they are. The man replies that they are in Japan. The protagonist then recognizes him as Mr. Hijikata. The scene shows the immediate aftermath of the dragon's landing, with awe and confusion from the locals. This page opens with the protagonist reacting to a smell, thinking it smells like a dog, then showing extreme surprise with an exclamation. A new character is introduced, identified as Sakamoto Raita from third year class F, who is described by the protagonist as, "This guy I hate," potentially a technical Hijikata, perhaps a nickname or role related to the large man from the previous page, Mr. Hijikata, and an unpleasant teacher. The protagonist confronts the teacher, asking if he has ever seen a dragon, and the teacher seems to acknowledge it. The focus then shifts, as the large man from the previous page, Mr. Hijikata, standing with the dragon, captures everyone's attention. He makes an announcement to the group of students, stating that among them, if anyone wants to ride the dragon, they should raise their hand, because today, they can ride it specially. The students react with surprise and excitement at the incredible offer. This page continues the narrative as students are offered a ride on the dragon, we learn that just over 30 students raised their hands for the opportunity. They are divided into groups of 5 or 6 to ride the dragon, with the protagonist group getting the last slot through a lottery, meaning it was already late afternoon when it was their turn. The large central panel shows the majestic dragon soaring through the sky, with the sound of its powerful wings flapping indicated. Below, a group of students, including the protagonist, are on the dragon, reacting with amazement to the view. They exclaim in awe at how small the school looks from high up, and try to identify landmarks like the department store in front of the station. A close-up shot highlights the protagonist's wide-eyed wonder, suggesting the incredible experience is leaving him speechless. This page continues the dragon ride from the previous page, showing the students perched on the creature's back as it flies high above the ground. The children chatter, asking questions like whether the person hosting them is Santa Claus, and if they'll sleep in a little hut. One child even mentions needing to go to the toilet. The protagonist in the center seems slightly distressed or motion sick. Suddenly, the adult character with goggles shouts at the kids, calling them brats, and urgently instructing them to grab onto something tightly, indicating that something is about to happen. The scene ends with a panel emphasizing "just then," building anticipation for the next event. This page continues the thrilling dragon ride from the previous page. The narration describes holding on tightly so as not to fall off the flying creature. The young protagonist reflects on the powerful muscles of the dragon working against the wind, and feels he understood the creature in an instant. Following the tense moment on the previous page, the adult character, revealed here as the Dragon Knight uncle, laughs and tells the fearful children that the best and smartest way to avoid falling is to get inside the dragon's canopy. The protagonist looks at the uncle and thinks to himself, surprised that there were 2 eccentric people like them aboard. The page shows the children and the Dragon Knight uncle on the dragon's back, reacting to the flight and the uncle's instructions. This page continues the journey on the flying dragon. The young protagonist is surprised by the intense wind and asks if it's always this strong or if it was a typhoon. The Dragon Knight uncle dismisses the idea, introducing the concept of dragon wind, a phenomenon found in the high sky, far above where birds fly. He explains that compared to the dragon wind, any other wind feels like a gentle breeze, calling them cute things. The uncle adds that some people find this capricious wind difficult to handle. The panels show the characters enduring the powerful wind during their flight. This page continues the flight as the pilot uncle elaborates on the Dragon Express dragon wind. He explains that the specific gap in the sky, where this powerful wind blows at high altitudes, is a crucial landmark. He emphasizes that those who can skillfully ride this capricious wind can travel vast distances, though getting caught in it clumsily can be quite troublesome. The uncle states that he arrived here using the wind and will depart again using it. As they fly, the young boy spots a school below, exclaiming, "Ah, school," and asks the uncle if they are leaving. A side note from creators Tomoyuki Fujinami and Kan Sasaki invites readers to enjoy the sky adventure. This page shows the conclusion of the flight journey. The Dragon Knight explains to Raita that not all countries are welcoming to Dragon Knights. They land, and the knight tells Raita to get down from the dragon. As the dragon rests, Raita asks if they will meet again. The Dragon Knight responds with an "ah" and takes off a glove, revealing a rough, calloused hand suited for holding dragon reins. As the knight and dragon depart into the sky, the comic notes Raita is fascinated by the sky and watches them leave. Raita reflects on the Dragon Knight's hand and says he continued to look at the sky, where they had vanished for a long time. The story is set to continue in the next issue, releasing on July 12th. This page features a mix of media reviews and a movie spotlight. Starting with Old Booktown, there are reviews for the Fire Emblem The Complete Book, a comprehensive guide to 3 titles with character illustrations and event reports, and a Civilization Navy book detailing the strategy game. There's also a brief, unrelated advert seeking horse owners. Under the heading Game Software Disc List, the focus shifts to music. We see the Fire Emblem genealogy of the Holy Wargame music soundtrack, featuring 14 rearranged tracks from the popular Super Famicom RPG. Also highlighted is the Cyber Troopers Virtualon official sound data, a soundtrack filled with tracks from the intense arcade mech combat game, including unused pieces. There's also an ad for Miracle Power by Kanako Tsuruta, an opening theme for a radio show, and Hiroki Wada's second album, Wanzer Hero 2, which includes the ending theme from the anime The Vision of Escaflowne. Finally, the Moving Pictures section dives into the new Mothra movie, marking a revival after 32 years. It discusses the previous film, Godzilla vs. Mothra, and hints at a new legend awakening on Infant Island. The plot involves Mothra facing her greatest threat, the worst monster, likely King Ghidorah, and the fate of Earth and Mothra resting on the cracking giant egg. This exciting monster feature from director Okihiro Yoneda is scheduled for release at the end of the year. The next page features a look at the Nintendo 64 launch title, Pilotwings 64. Positioned as the perfect virtual summer holiday, the article highlights the game's setting across 4 great resort islands. It introduces the various aerial activities players can undertake, specifically mentioning the Sky Sports Challenges and the exciting Cannonball Thrill Ride. The page also refers to the game's playable characters as reckless young people. Pilotwings 64, published by Nintendo for the N64, was available for 9,800 yen at the time. This page delves deeper into the world of Pilotwings 64, highlighting the variety across its 4 islands and presenting the game as the perfect virtual holiday destination. It details the vibrant holiday island, ideal for families and dates with its amusement park and Ferris wheel. The article also showcases other locations, like the golf course, areas of great nature, an old castle, a factory area, and even mentions spotting whales. A personal account shares a thrilling, near-disastrous gyrocopter flight near the castle. Finally, the page introduces Everfrost Island, describing its snowy, historical charm and the chance to see whales and glaciers. The overall tone emphasizes the diverse environments and experiences available in the game, framing them as highlights of an elegant virtual retreat. This page continues the exploration of Pilotwings 64, framed as a virtual sightseeing tour. The focus here is on the Little States Island and Crescent Island. The article highlights the Mediterranean-style scenery and gentle welcome the game offers. Screenshots showcase iconic Ahalius landmarks recreated in the game, such as Mount Rushmore with a Hollywood sign nearby, the Statue of Liberty, a space shuttle launch from the Space Center, and resort areas. The text describes Little States as a place with abundant tourist spots, like the White House and Space Center, suggesting you can't see everything in just one day. It also mentions the charm of both urban sophistication and rustic nature. A personal anecdote shares an exciting encounter with a mecha hawk. The page also briefly describes Crescent Island as one of the 4 islands, notable for its quiet natural charm and resort development, offering a healing escape from city fatigue. The overall tone encourages players to explore the diverse environments and experiences Pilotwings 64 provides, suggesting gyrocopter sightseeing is a great way to enjoy the Little States Island. This page dives into the hang glider challenges in Pilotwings 64, outlining tasks and offering strategic tips. It breaks down the missions by license level, starting with the beginner class, where the objective is simply passing through rings and landing on a designated spot. The A class introduces more complex tasks, like taking photographs of targets, requiring precision and careful maneuvering. The page provides difficulty ratings for each class, indicating the relative thumb fatigue and potential for motion sickness. A dedicated flight advice section offers crucial tips for mastering the hang glider, emphasizing the importance of using wind and updrafts to gain altitude, managing flight speed to avoid stalling, and using inertia effectively. Screenshots illustrate various scenarios, showing the heads-up display with altitude, speed, and photo count, as well as showcasing key moments like passing through rings, approaching targets, and utilizing updrafts. The overall message is that while the hang glider has limited maneuverability, skillful use of environmental elements like wind is key to success. Pilotwings 64's hang glider challenges escalate in difficulty with the B and P classes. Paid class tasks, including Velocity Square, Photo Cruise, and Stall Wing, demand improved precision and skills, rated high for thumb fatigue but low for motion sickness. Top class missions, like Satellite Flyer and Rising Climbs, are more complex, requiring mastery of altitude gain and photography in challenging environments. Photo Cruise 3 adds a significant photographic challenge. Iron Man, a character offering tips, emphasizes practice, focusing on strengths and accepting some weaknesses to avoid boredom and improve overall performance. The next page continues the Pilotwings 64 guide, shifting focus from the hang glider to the rocket belt and jetpack modes, covering beginner and A-class challenges. The rocket belt is introduced with a task involving popping balloons and landing, noted for low thumb fatigue but medium motion sickness. The A-class jetpack tasks include navigating through rings and landing on sequential floating pads, rated higher for both thumb fatigue and motion sickness. A key concept discussed is inertia, and how to manage it using the crucial air brake technique, which allows near mid-air stops but consumes significant fuel. Flight advice emphasizes strategic air brake use, smart viewpoint switching, especially using shadows, and utilizing diagonal movement between targets to save time. The rocket belt is highlighted as the most maneuverable of the main three aircraft, but is easily affected by inertia. Screenshots illustrate gameplay from both modes. The next page progresses the Pilot Wings 64 guide to the B and P certification classes. B class introduces tasks like bursting balloons, navigating ring courses, and using the rocket belt to body slam a ball towards a goal on Everfrost Island. Moving to SAP class on Crescent Island significantly increases difficulty, featuring complex cave navigation with the jetpack in Shadow Route, and another challenging ball body slam in Diamond Head. The P class is rated very high for both thumb fatigue and motion sickness. A featured section offers advice from a character known as Superhuman Futaba, alias. She suggests the key to excelling is to play with friends, discover your own strengths, aircraft or task, and practice those, highlighting the game's potential as a party experience, where players can become experts in different areas. A brief profile introduces her as a rocket belt expert. This page continues the Pilot Wings 64 strategy guide, focusing on the gyrocopter aircraft. It covers the beginner and a class tasks for this vehicle, detailing challenges like navigating ring courses and destroying targets using missiles. The beginner class involves flying through 3 rings in order and landing, emphasizing that landing is crucial, unlike with the hang glider or rocket belt. It's rated 1 star for both thumb fatigue and motion sickness. The A-class tasks involve clearing as many rings as possible, sometimes requiring careful navigation near terrain, and a second task focused entirely on target destruction with infinite missile ammo. The guide notes the target destruction is particularly fun. The A-class is rated 2 stars for both thumb fatigue and motion sickness, indicating a moderate increase in difficulty. Flight advice for the gyrocopter is provided, highlighting its maneuverability and the enjoyment of the missile tasks. Key strategies include reducing speed for turns, flying at full speed between targets, and making fine adjustments before engaging. Landing the gyrocopter is noted as being difficult, with advice given on speed and approach angle to achieve a good score. A small section on the left also comments that the gyrocopter has the most powerful maneuverability of the 3 aircraft, and its unique tasks, particularly missile attacks, are enjoyable, but landing is difficult. This Pilot Wings 64 strategy guide details gyrocopter B and P class challenges. B class, on Little States Island, includes ring passing, Mississippi Storm, and target destruction, Metal Horizon tasks. The P class, unlocked after completing all standard stages on Everfrost Island, presents the challenging Ice Hornet, ring passing, balloon rush, target destruction, and Hawk Again boss fight. ERP class is significantly harder than B class, earning 5 stars for both thumb fatigue and motion sickness. The General, a character advising players, emphasizes mastering the gyrocopter's landing, attacking, and missile use for easier side class completion. His profile highlights his missile obsession and the need for constant missile practice. This page delves into the extra games available in Pilot Wings 64, offering a break from the main vehicle challenges discussed previously. The section title suggests these modes are for enjoyment after mastering the core hang glider, rocket belt, and gyrocopter. First up is Cannonball, where the goal is simply to shoot people, like Futa and Hawk, from a giant cannon towards a target. It's all about the exhilarating feeling of sending them flying, but there's also a tactical element in reading the wind and distance to score big. Next is Skydiving, described as the most challenging mode. It requires forming splendid formations with up to 3 friends before deploying parachutes from over 1,000 meters. The sense of achievement from executing these complex formations and the feel of the air resistance make it a rewarding experience. Finally, Jumble Hopper lets you bounce around on spring shoes, exploring familiar areas like Holiday Island, Crescent Island, and Little States. Mastering the controls for precise jumps is key, but the pure fun of bounding over fields and mountains with the scenery rushing by is highly praised. These extra games offer unique experiences beyond the standard missions. This page explores alternative ways to enjoy Pilot Wings 64, specifically focusing on the Birdman mode and moving beyond the goal of earning points. Titled, Becoming a Master of Birdman, it highlights how this mode offers unique forms of enjoyment. The first section, Sightseeing, emphasizes the freedom Birdman provides. Without worrying about fuel or landing, you can simply fly around, change your view, and take in the detailed scenery, visiting landmarks like the Capitol Building or Statue of Liberty. Controlling Time discusses how changing the time of day or weather impacts the visual experience. Flying during the day, evening, or under a starry sky transforms the levels, offering different discoveries and treating the scenery on your screen like a work of art. Searching for hidden places suggests a more active approach to exploration. This involves actively seeking out hidden spots, caves, or unique geographical features across the islands, akin to looking for secrets in other games. It notes that revisiting areas with a different mindset can reveal new details. Finally, I Want to Become Icarus injects a bit of humor, referencing the myth of flying too high. It speaks to the joy of flying fast and high without constraints, feeling a sense of adventure and discovery, akin to an explorer. The page concludes with a humorous note about falling, common when pushing the limits, and options to view photos, replays, or proceed. Pilot Wing 64's main characters are detailed. Lark, a small, agile boy, excels with the hang glider but struggles with wind. Goose, a skilled protagonist, consistently performs well across vehicles. Kiwi, a bright tomboy, is cute but susceptible to wind, especially with the rocket belt. Ibis, a competitive girl, has a strong rocket belt and excels in daring turns with the hang glider. Each character's performance with the different vehicles is described, along with their personalities. Screenshots illustrate their appearances and flight styles. Pilot Wing 64 features Hawk, a strong, older man resistant to wind, excelling in the hang glider and gyrocopter despite slow reactions. Kiki, a calm woman with a striking physique, also handles the hang glider well, and the rocket belt is her signature. Nikki is a glamorous character. Secrets include unlocking Birdman by earning silver badges and a time swap event in Holiday Island's castle. In Little States, attacking a rock reveals Wario. Refueling is possible at a gas station in Little States, working for both gyrocopter and rocket belt. This page introduces the 64 Submission Fighting Legend Fighters, a reader submission corner themed as a fighting game challenge. It announces the arrival of the Wave of Fury and encourages readers to submit their contributions to climb the ranks and become stronger gamers. The page outlines the 5 rules for participants, covering aspects like a gamer's lifestyle, diligence in submitting, daily routines, and a passion for games, desire, and sex. There's a ranking system based on points, starting from Nyoro, 5 points or less, and progressing through Shiri, company employee, swordsman, with the ultimate goal being the 64 Saint rank, achieved at 100 points or more, etching your name in history. A character named George Shigeru is introduced as being in charge of the submission-free fight section. He's described as a 24-year-old nice guy with a family, whose special skill is the eating and running kick. The section features reader submissions, including comments about waiting for the Sega Saturn release, and conversations about playing tennis, along with a submission embracing the anything goes spirit of the fighting section. This page features interactive reader content, including a special move naming showdown. Readers submit original special move names, and they are pitted against each other in humorous battles. 2 showdowns are shown: 5-character Hold versus Diarrhea Onslaught, with Diarrhea Onslaught taking the win, and Special Move Leaf Hiding versus Pharmacy Matsumoto Kiyoshi, which Pharmacy Matsumoto Kiyoshi wins. The page also includes reader submissions on general gaming topics. Readers share experiences like seeing Nintendo 64 units before release, and discuss balancing gaming with life choices, with one calling gaming a yellow card. There's also a segment called Tomorrow's Character Forecast, where readers draw character designs based on unusual names. This issue reveals the drawing for Majin Doravidarn, and announces the next name for readers to draw, Sirimiel 2i. The page encourages continuous submissions from gamers who play until morning, pondering things like needing a shave, or if horses in Derby Stallion also sweat greasy sweat. This page features 2 distinct columns. The top section is Ryusei Yaru's Purikura Hall of Fame, seemingly a column by someone associated with Atlas, inviting readers to participate and submit photos and ideas, connecting with the popular photo sticker booth trend. A character introduced as Li Man Chao is presented, speaking of a national strongman competition where only the best survive, suggesting a reader contest or challenge element within the column. The bottom section is titled, Mr. Jacket Buying Guy. This column explores the concept of buying games based purely on their cover art. The first installment focuses on the Sega Saturn title, Air Management 96, a business simulation game about running an airline. The author explains how the cool box art led them to purchase the game, despite the content being different from what the art might imply. They comment positively on the game's graphics and a special ending sequence. This page features a Fighter Face Championship column, inviting readers to submit their drawings of fighter faces, showcasing some early, rather unique entries. Below that, a section called Lucky Earstrike shares a peculiar personal technique that took 35 years to develop, leaving its exact purpose somewhat mysterious, but clearly a unique hit. There's also a small reader corner with messages and drawings, expressing excitement for the Nintendo 64. On the right, a short manga strip titled Body Parts presents a humorous scenario involving a scientist and others discussing body parts, with a nod to Mario Brothers. The main column is by the comedy duo London Boots No. 1 and No. 2, titled Gather at the Useless Human Game Mountain Range. They introduce themselves as game lovers, outline rules for their column which focuses on games, and share their gaming origins starting with the Famicom, NES. They also answer reader questions about games, including one about the design of the Nintendo 64's analog stick, promising to help solve other gamers' problems. This page features a look at a specific game center, Game Fantasia Shibuya, detailing its location, hours, and the types of machines available, including arcade and metal games, noting observations about the patrons like a girl playing a coin game and salarymen at the horse racing machines. It's suggested as a potential date spot. Adjacent is the Cult King Q&A column, hosted by writer and game developer Fujio Watanabe. This section answers reader questions about games. An example provided involves identifying a game described by a reader. The answer points to Hao-kun's Mysterious Journey, a Famicom title from the now-defunct dog brand. This column's premise is clearly linked to the previous page's mention of the host being a winner of the Cult Q quiz show, ready to tackle gaming queries. Below, the Happy Game Life section introduces the Yugen Kaisha Saruyama Hagenosuke corner column, featuring illustrations and text by Kotobuki Shiragari. It includes a humorous president's greeting about finding strength in games during difficult times, and a quirky company motto written like, Steps in an RPG Quest. There's also a comical introduction to fictional executives, Uyama Iwao and Ichiro Yamashita, detailing their stats, bizarre specialties like lifting copy machines, and amusing hobbies such as liking blood and resting immediately. The bottom features pixel art of a torii gate and lanterns. This page features a column requesting readers send in questions for a specific corner titled Rokuyon Fighters, emphasizing that questions should focus on general game knowledge, not strategy or cheats, which are handled elsewhere. The main feature is Hong Kong Gamer's Ambition by Zenji Kabayama. It vividly describes the intense heat and humidity of Hong Kong, and the author's relief in escaping to the air-conditioned office. The narrative recounts meeting Mung-kun at the office, and their subsequent decision to head to a renowned game spot in Mong Kok. Below, Saruyama presents new games, including Angelique, Bushugundan, seemingly a strategy title blending the Angelique series with Sengoku-era themes. It also satirically introduces Basan Breeders 96, a humorous concept about breeding horses for meat delivery to restaurants. The Customers' Voices section features funny testimonials from players of Saruyama's fictional games, like losing significant weight, playing the difficult, the dungeon, and learning life lessons from Dragon Fantasy Special. A short, cheerful manga strip titled Saruyama-chan is also included, depicting lighthearted game-related scenarios. The page is bordered at the bottom by pixel art. This page features Yoko Sugawara's column, a personal reflection on daily life that touches on laundry, movies like The Yellow Handkerchief, and even broken clocks, offering a glimpse into her non-gaming world before referencing pop culture like The X-Files. Below, the Free Fight reader submission section is packed with Nintendo 64 enthusiasm. Fans write in sharing their experiences and opinions, from wanting 64 to enjoy 4-player Mario Kart 64 and make new friends, to grappling with partners lost in gaming worlds. One submission amusingly describes getting so immersed in baseball games that they start physically reacting. The section also includes an illustration related to a reader's idea for an RPG created with a tool, featuring a story about a maid-obsessed sister and her brother. The page also prominently displays the title, Linda, next to an illustration of a face, accompanied by a brief reader comment, though its specific context or connection to a game isn't explicitly detailed here. This page features several reader-focused sections. At the top left is, "To that hateful guy, you son of a bitch," a corner where readers vent or send messages to game characters. This week includes submissions directed at Nina Williams and Kazuya Mishima from Tekken 2. One complaining about Nina's earrings, and another asking Kazuya out. The section also highlights a character named Shinta Tamako, offering a brief profile about her special moves and personality. On the right, the Visiting Conference Room section details a project where the magazine staff visits readers' homes to hold meetings about reader submissions for Submission Fighting Legend 64 Fighters. A photo of a workspace with a mascot character is shown, and the accompanying text humorously discusses the staff's work and life, referencing the mascot character Piororina and promising future visits to reader homes. Finally, the bottom section previews the next issue and actively solicits reader submissions for various recurring columns and contests. It lists several topics including submission-free fight, special move naming showdown, Cult King Q and a key, and a corner potentially featuring Yoshiko Sugawara. The magazine's address for sending in submissions is provided at the bottom right. This page announces the results for the Tekken 2 Time Attack Contest, which was a reader submission event. The competition saw a massive number of entries, but the top spot went to Kentaro Sakai from Tokyo, who achieved an incredible time of 0.5516. He was the only participant to break the 1-minute mark, earning high praise. The article notes that characters like Law, Yoshimitsu, Kazuya, and Devil were popular choices among contestants, while others, such as a king, were rarely seen. The page goes on to detail Sakai's strategy, describing his basic pattern, particularly for defeating Jun and Yoshimitsu extremely quickly, sometimes in just over a second for a round. Based on these swift victories in individual matches, it's theorized that a perfect run across all opponents could theoretically be around 40 seconds. Small screenshots show gameplay moments, likely illustrating parts of this strategy. There is also a list showing the winner's time for defeating each character in the time attack mode. The next page announces the full top 10 results for the Tekken 2 Time Attack Contest. The table lists the top players and their times, with the previously mentioned winner, Kentaro Sakai, from Tokyo holding the top spot with an impressive 0.5516. The times range up to 159 feet 01 for the 10th place. The top 5 contestants are promised their choice of PS software as a prize. A bar graph shows the most popular characters used by contestants, titled Most Used Character Best 5. Law is overwhelmingly the most popular, followed by Yoshimitsu, Paul, Jun, and a king. The text confirms Law's popularity, noting Yoshimitsu is second, while the Mishima family characters were rarely used for time attack, suggesting players focused on easier-to-execute strategies. A large image of martial law reinforces his popularity. The page also includes messages related to the contest. Namco congratulates the winner and thanks all 200-plus participants, attributing the success of Tekken 2 selling over 1 million copies to fan support. They also hint at upcoming games like World Stadium X and Smash Court, and even mention anticipation for Tekken 3. Another section reflects on the fighting game corner, featuring titles like Virtua Fighter 2, and how Tekken 2 served as a strong conclusion to this series of contests, ending with a mention of 64. Small images show gameplay, merchandise, and a PlayStation controller, alongside a note for winners to wait until it arrives. This page features the Game Girls Go column, now in its second installment, with a plea for reader support to keep it going. The My Mon Amour section highlights the game Bahamut Lagoon, focusing on the character Baiyu, described by the reviewer as cool but shy, like a timeless manga hero. The Unbelievable Game Planning Room proposes a humorous adventure game concept centered around a high school girl's daily life, with choices leading to different scenarios and personality evaluations, like judging how much playing has reduced brain wrinkles, or if eating too much fast food is bad. It even includes compatibility diagnoses with celebrity types. Finally, The Chobarigu Soft section features Kimi's review of Ultima Viz on the PC-98, expressing enthusiasm for the game's detailed world and freedom, and seeking fellow players. The page concludes with contact information for readers to submit contributions. This page is a cutout postcard, designed for readers to send in their feedback to the magazine's editorial department. It includes spaces for personal information such as name, address, date of birth, age, gender, and contact details, along with fields for entering desired prize numbers and names. The card serves as a reader survey, asking questions about which articles were interesting or boring, what other magazines the reader frequently buys, opinions on the Nintendo 64, which Nintendo 64 games they wish to purchase, and which game consoles they currently own. Readers were instructed to affix a 50 yen stamp and send it by the deadline of July 12th. This page continues the reader survey for the 7/12 issue, allowing readers to provide feedback. It asks for games they would like to see released on the Nintendo 64, invites opinions from those who read the shogi article on page 100 with numbered response options, and asks about interesting games they have played and games they intend to buy, listing the name and platform for each. Finally, there's a large space for readers to write messages directly to the editorial team. The right edge indicates this section is meant to be cut out. This page continues the reader survey, providing instructions on how to fill out the postcard by circling the relevant numbers for questions and writing in spaces for free comments or specific game titles. The survey asks readers about the game magazines they read, their opinions on the Nintendo 64, and which upcoming 64 software they are interested in, listing titles like Super Mario 64, Pilot Wings 64, and Saikyo Habu Shogi. It also inquires about the game consoles they own, which games they have found interesting, and which games they plan to purchase. There is a specific, optional question for readers of the shogi article on page 100. The page provides a large area for readers to write additional opinions or requests to the editorial team. The submission deadline is July 12th, with the next issue releasing on the same day. A large 64 logo with is prominent at the bottom, and the right edge is marked as a cutout section for the postcard. This page announces the winners of a reader campaign, congratulating 1,500 individuals. The page details various prizes awarded, including consoles like the Nintendo 64, PlayStation, and Sega Saturn, as well as numerous games and related merchandise. Some of the prizes include games such as Jumping Flash 2, Resident Evil, Biohazard, guides and strategy books for the Wind of Shiren series, Derby Stallion 96, and a demo version of King's Field 2-1. Other unique items awarded are a Mumu plush doll, Macross Digital Mission VFX stickers, and campaign-exclusive telephone cards featuring games like 64 Rokuyon. For each prize, the number of winners is specified, followed by a list containing the names and prefectures of the lucky recipients. A section on the side mentions that the winner's announcement will continue in the next issue, dated June 14th, encouraging readers to look out for their name. This page announces the final qualifiers for the Takarajima Classic, a massive reader participation event centered around a horse racing simulation game, almost certainly Derby Stallion given the magazine's focus. Over 3,250 entries poured in from readers eager to see their virtual stables compete. The page breaks down the finalists for key Bog 1 races, showcasing the reader-selected owner, horse, and their lineage for each. The featured races represent some of the biggest events in Japanese horse racing, including the Fillies classics like the Uka Show, Japanese 1,000 guineas, and the Oaks, Japanese Oaks, the Triple Crown races for colts like the Satsuki Show, Japanese 2,000 guineas, and the Derby, Tokyo Yushun, as well as major weight forage contests like the Tenno Show Spring, Takamatsu no Miya High, Yasuda Kinen, and the fan favorite Takarazuka Kinens. It's fantastic to see readers getting so deeply involved in building and competing with their virtual horses. There's also a note mentioning a schedule change for the Muraking Challenge event's Real Shadai Sambo race, Hanshin 2,200 meters, being postponed, and the topic for the August 23rd issue will focus on the legendary horse Oguri Cap and the Niigata 2,000 meters turf race. This page is a full-page advertisement for VOW 8, the latest book in the best-selling VOW series from Takarajimasha, which has sold over 4.3 million copies. The book is described as a large catalog of strange things found in towns and a complete collection of modern, everyday talk. This page is an advertisement featuring 2 books from Takarajimasha. The top section promotes I and Hi, can't laugh about it, collection of confusing and strange computer scenes. It humorously depicts situations related to computers, suggesting it contains funny and bizarre conversations. An example conversation involves asking about internet availability. The ad mentions famous people appearing in the book, such as Masaaki Satake, Michiko Shimizu, and Yoshiteru Yoshida. It is priced at 900 yen, tax included. The bottom section advertises. Close corner bracket, Fantasy Science Reader, by Rika Yagida, a chief researcher at the Fantasy Science Research Institute. This book analyzes the science behind heroes and monsters from popular culture, such as Ultraman and Godzilla, asking if they were born or would instantly die. It promises to dissect heroes and love with science, and states it has sold over 270,000 copies. Examples listed include Ultraman flying and dying instantly, Ultraman water flow causing seismic changes, Jet Mogura's rotating drill, and Taitocopter destroying Doraemon when the wind blows. A quote from Shigehiko Hasumi praises the book. It is priced at 1,200 yen, tax included. Both books are from Takarajimasha. This page is a new software release schedule table detailing upcoming games for Nintendo 64, PlayStation, and Super Famicom, covering releases from June to December 1996 and future/undecided titles. This page presents the comprehensive software release schedule for the Sega Saturn console. It covers upcoming titles from June 1996 through the end of the year, as well as some planned for 1997, and others with undecided release dates. The list provides the game title, the publisher or developer, the price, and the release time frame. It shows a busy lineup for the Saturn, detailing games from a wide variety of genres and developers, showcasing the console's library growth during this period. This page presents software release schedules for a variety of gaming platforms beyond the previously shown Saturn list. It details upcoming titles primarily for the 3DO, PC Engine, Virtual Boy, Game Boy, Kids Gear, Arcade, and Neo Geo systems, covering release windows from June 1996 through the end of the year, with some titles listed for 1997 or with release dates yet to be decided. For the 3DOs, notable titles listed include Tactics Ogre and Tomb Raider. The PC Engine schedule features games like Go! Go! Party Chance and Dead of the Brain. The Virtual Boy list includes Virtual Boy Wario Land and Virtual Boy Bomberman. Game Boy players can look forward to Namco Gallery Volume 1 and Bomberman Collection. The Kids Gear shows Neko Daisuki. The arcade section lists titles like Dead or Alive. Finally, the Neo Geo is packed with fighting games, such as The King of Fighters 96, and action titles like Metal Slug. The page provides the title, publisher, and price where available, offering a comprehensive look at the diverse range of games planned across these systems during this busy period. This page features a promotion for the N64 game Saikyu Habu Shogi, Strongest Habu Shogi, highlighting it as a premier shogi title released alongside the console. The software is developed in collaboration with genius shogi player Yoshiharu Habu and a skilled programmer, aiming to provide a powerful opponent. The article suggests playing this game is an excellent way to learn the intricacies of shogi and improve your skill. It includes a profile of Yoshiharu Habu, detailing his impressive achievement of simultaneously holding all 7 major shogi titles, a feat known as the 7 Crowns, and discusses his unique playing style called Habu Magic. A screenshot of the game displays a match between Habu and another famous player, Kunio Yonaga, showcasing a specific move on the board. The page positions the game as a way for players to experience the depth and genius of top-level shogi. The next page continues the focus on Saikyu Habu Shogi, diving into specific modes and fundamental strategies offered within the game. It highlights alternative rule sets that add exciting twists to traditional shogi. One such mode is 10-second shogi, a fast-paced variant where players must make their moves within 10 seconds, demanding quick thinking and sharp intuition. The included screenshot clearly shows the board during a tense 10-second match, emphasizing the time pressure. The page also introduces basic shogi strategies crucial for players of all levels. It covers fundamental opening formations and tactics, like the rooks in the file strategy, Ibisha Senpu, and the aggressive climbing silver strategy, Bujin Senpu. Further details are provided on defensive setups, such as the extremely solid bear in the hole, Anaguma, defense, and the well-balanced fort, Yagura, formation, both specifically within the context of Ibisha. Diagrams accompany each strategy description, illustrating the piece placement and structure, making them accessible for players looking to build a strong foundation in shogi. These modes and strategies demonstrate how the game goes beyond just standard play to help players deepen their understanding and skill. The next page delves into specific modes and fundamental battle strategies within Saikyu-Habu Shogi. It introduces Reversal Shogi, a unique mode where the player's side can be swapped with the opponent mid-game, sometimes automatically under set conditions like taking a piece or a piece promotion. Winning requires mastering the timing of these reversals, as the player who is GOAT gets 2 consecutive moves afterwards, offering a chance for a decisive attack. The page also covers Tsume Shogi, or checkmate puzzles. The key to solving these is often bold sacrifices, like giving up rooks or bishops, to draw the opponent's king into a checkmate net. Practicing these puzzles is highlighted as crucial for improving endgame skills in regular games. Furthermore, the page explains core shogi battle strategies, focusing on the static rook, Fury-Bishya, approach, where the rook is moved horizontally to attack. Several variations are detailed. Fourth file rook, Shiken-Bishya, which aims to disrupt the opponent's attack. Central rook, Naka-Bishya, a powerful strategy focusing on attacking the center. And opposing rook, Mukai-Bishya, a direct clash where rooks face each other. Mastering these foundational openings is essential for players of all levels looking to improve their shogi game. This page dives deeper into analyzing the strength of the game, Saikyu-Habu Shogi, by testing whether unconventional trick moves, known as hamate, can be effective against it. The article specifically focuses on a trap called the Onigoroshi Senpu, Demon Killer Strategy, explaining its mechanics and how it is executed in-game. There's a screenshot illustrating a key moment using this strategy, highlighting how it can quickly disrupt the opponent's position. The piece discusses shogi's long history and the emergence of such tactical traps. Following this analysis, there's a reader campaign offering prizes related to shogi and the game itself, encouraging engagement with the content by answering a few questions about their interest in shogi and the game. This page is part of a recurring feature titled the Licensed Maker Special Investigation Unit. It presents an update on various software developers and their activities. Section 1 focuses on T&E Soft's intriguing 3D puzzle game, Kuwanpa, displaying screenshots that highlight its unique grid-based gameplay and the manipulation of a colorful cube within a 3D space. Section 2 reports on the significant news of Konami entering the SD4 market. Section 3 announces new titles from the well-known developer, Hudson. Finally, Section 4 provides follow-up information on several anticipated domestic software releases. This page dives deep into Kuwanpa, an intriguing puzzle game from T&E Soft for the N64, currently listed with an undecided price. Subtitled, Report Chapter 1. The page highlights that the magazine's investigation team journeyed to Nagoya to get the latest screenshots of this brain-testing puzzle title. The core gameplay involves rolling a cube to erase colored panels on a grid. A key feature is the life panel, special panels that must all be cleared within a time limit to finish a stage in the normal mode. Looking at the screenshots, the game presents a unique 3D grid layout. The report suggests that while the game is simple, its straightforward nature could easily become quite addictive once players get hooked. This page continues the deep dive into Kuwanpa, the puzzle game from T&E Soft for the N64. It introduces the game's 2 main modes, normal mode and puzzle mode. While normal mode challenges you to clear life panels within a time limit, puzzle mode ramps up the complexity by giving you a strict limit on the number of moves you can make to clear the target panels. This mode really tests your strategic thinking, as wasting even one move can lead to failure. The page also unveils the concept of fixed stones, or jouseki, which are essential panel clearing patterns. The article identifies 5 fundamental patterns you'll need to master: linear, U-shape, L-shape, wall, and double U-shape. The illustrations clearly show how the cube needs to be moved to erase specific panel configurations. Understanding and executing these patterns efficiently will be key to succeeding, especially in the move-limited puzzle mode. The game is shaping up to be a real brain teaser, expected to challenge players around September. This page announces Konami's official entry into the Nintendo 64 market, revealed via fax on June 4, 1996. Konami, a major game maker known for various genres including the Absent from Theseus Gradius and Parodius series, has unveiled their initial lineup of 5 titles, which they are confident will each sell over 1 million copies. The lineup includes a soccer game, highlighted as part of Konami's main sports series, emphasizing their signature Jikyu live commentary feature, with anticipation for its N64 implementation. A screenshot is shown, noted as being from the PlayStation version of Jikyu World Soccer Winning 11. Next is a baseball game, featuring Konami's flagship baseball series, Jikyu Powerful Pro Baseball, Pawapuro. The 64 version is in development and expected by year-end. The screenshot is from the PlayStation version of Jikyu Pawapuro Baseball. 95 opening editions. Surprisingly, a Goemon game is announced as an adventure game, departing from the series' usual action genre. The screenshot is from the PlayStation title, Ganbare Goemon, Uchu Kaizoku Ako Gingu. A golf game is also mentioned, though details are sparse, described only as a new type of golf game leveraging the N64's capabilities. Finally, a mahjong game is included. While many mahjong games exist, enjoyable ones are said to be rare, setting an expectation for Konami's title to be fun. These 5 announced titles are scheduled for public reveal at the Tokyo Game Show in August. This page features reports on 64 software development and a comprehensive list of currently known titles. The top section highlights Hudson Soft's entry into the N64 market, confirming that the popular Bomberman series is coming with Bomberman 64. A screenshot of the game is included. Hudson also announced Kindaichi Case Files is in development for the system. The lower section reports on the N64 launch, noting there are currently 3 games available. It presents a list of known domestic 64 software, including both released and upcoming titles, some of which haven't been officially announced. While the summer lineup appears light, the report anticipates a wave of new software from autumn onwards. It also touches upon the possibility of a Dragon Quest game on 64, noting that the development team is currently focused on Dragon Quest II for Super Famicom, and speculates that we may need to wait patiently, possibly until the end of the century. The comprehensive list includes titles from various developers, such as Nintendo, Konami, confirming the titles announced on the previous page are included, Hudson, and others. Notable upcoming or undecided titles on the list include Super Mario Kart R, Kirby Bowl 64, The Legend of Zelda 64, Mother 3, and Star Fox 64. This Overseas 64 information page, focusing on US N64 software development, reveals exciting screenshots of upcoming titles, particularly the highly anticipated Super Mario Kart R, Mario Kart 64. While Japan's N64 launch has generated excitement, the lack of readily available software is concerning. The page assures readers that overseas development is progressing well. Screenshots showcase various gameplay modes, including a surprisingly smooth 4-player simultaneous split-screen experience. The increased character size in single-player mode enhances immersion, while the 4-player multiplayer mode, a significant upgrade from the Super Famicom version, impresses. This page covers 2 more intriguing 64 titles. First up is Kirby's Air Ride, which was previously known as Kirby Ball 64 at Famicom Space World 95. The game's concept has changed dramatically from Kirby rolling like a ball to riding on a floating vehicle for races, offering a fresh experience. Just like the previous page's discussion, a major highlight here is the fantastic 4-player simultaneous play. Below that, we have Body Harvest, an action shooting game where you battle insectoid aliens invading Earth to consume humanity. A key feature is the ability to switch between various vehicles frequently. The article mentions strategic elements are involved, suggesting the flow of the game changes depending on how you defeat enemies. The screenshots show the isometric view gameplay, a large insect alien, and a menu screen. It seems the game offers smooth scrolling and hints at the appearance of large boss characters. This article reviews 3 Nintendo 64 games: Cruisin' USA, a faithful arcade racer with satisfying controls; Wave Race 64, a surprising jet ski racing game that deviates from initial expectations; and Star Fox 64, a polygonal space combat sequel with improved graphics compared to its predecessor. The reviews highlight the realistic visuals in Cruisin' USA, the unique water racing experience in Wave Race 64, and the impressive polygonal detail in Star Fox 64. Screenshots showcase the gameplay elements of each game. A correction for a previous article's error about Descent is also noted. This page previews Robotech Crystal Dream for the Nintendo 64, developed by GameTech. Based on the popular Robotech anime, which originates from the classic Japanese series Macross, The game lets you pilot transforming mecha against alien forces. Screenshots show space battles and the robot forms.
The article notes the familiar premise, stemming from a big Japanese hit that became popular abroad, now returning as a game. The visuals look powerful, showcasing the N64's capabilities, though information is currently limited. The page also features the US Nintendo 64 package and discusses the growing wave of promising software coming from overseas, particularly America, encouraging readers to keep an eye out, as many may see a Japanese release. There's a brief note clarifying that the game isn't related to BattleTech, despite a previous article mention. Overall, the reviewer is excited to play this new 64 title.
This page looks at upcoming 64 software set for release in Japan by the end of the year, focusing on titles originating from overseas. It follows up on previous coverage of US launch titles by introducing games considered likely candidates for a late 1996 Japanese release. Featured titles include Rare's Blast Corps, a unique action game where you clear paths for a nuclear missile by demolishing structures with various transforming vehicles, which the reviewer notes is satisfyingly destructive.
Next is Buggy Boogie from Angel Studios, a wild, customizable 3D racing game with challenging off-road courses. Rare's GoldenEye 007 is presented as a 3D first-person shooter based on the movie, notable for using polygons for enemies unlike many games of the era. The page also briefly mentions Angel Studios' Ken Griffey Jr. baseball and Rare's fighting game Killer Instinct, noting that while planned for 96, 64-bit screenshots were unavailable at the time. A prominent section at the bottom highlights Nintendo's Shigeru Miyamoto, who stated at E3 that around 90% of the software shown there was likely to see a Japanese release, suggesting a strong lineup was headed to Japan. The page confidently declares that these titles have a 99% chance of being released in Japan, building anticipation for the console's future library. This page is a report from the 1996 Tokyo Toy Show, covered by the 64 editorial department, held from June 6th to 9th at Makuhari Messe. The show was bustling with new toys, games, and events. The Compile booth hosted a Puyo Puyo tournament, while classic characters like Ultraman and Red Ranger made appearances. Promotions were also seen for games like the Slayer series. A major highlight was the Sega booth, featuring a talk show with renowned developer Yu Suzuki, where they unveiled the highly anticipated Virtua Fighter 3 and its powerful new sumo character Takarashi to great excitement. The report notes the presence of booth companions and even amusing novelty items like farting dog keychains. The next page continues the report from the major game show, likely the 1996 Tokyo Toy Show, opening with the team arriving at the expansive Makuhari Messe venue, impressed by its size. Inside, they check out the Namco booth, catching a Tekken 2 event where someone pulls off an impressive win using a Mexican combo. After refueling with some unique Puyo-shaped snacks called Puyo Man, they head to the vibrant Sega booth. They are struck by the flashy setup and the iconic Knights character floating overhead as a large balloon. They even meet up with Mr. Anatani, a familiar face from the magazine's own Saturn Guys column. The excitement carries over to the Capcom booth, where the focus is clearly on Street Fighter 02. Known internationally as Street Fighter Alpha 2, which is greeted with great enthusiasm by the team. The report also features a visual nod to the previously announced Virtua Fighter 3 and its powerful new sumo character, Takarashi, highlighting the impact of this revelation. This page continues the report from the large game and toy show. The team expresses excitement and disappointment playing arcade games on the show floor. They pause to capture the moment with a fun Purikura photo sticker machine. The report then shifts focus to Otaku Yuki's Great Explosion Corner, highlighting impressive displays such as a massive Gamera model overlooking a miniature cityscape and a striking collection of Ultraman heads. They are also pleased to see a display featuring Busca. The team is thoroughly impressed by the event, calling it a wonderful festival. The section concludes with them leaving the show, having collected many souvenirs, while the editor-in-chief humorously laments the likely lack of payment or expense reimbursement for the trip. This page details the 6th installment of a regular battle feature taking place at a toy show. The initial plan was a magazine versus magazine tournament, but Drive to show. Sasaya was late due to work, so Geik from the editorial team stepped in but unfortunately lost. This led to a change of plans, a direct challenge against a developer present at the show. The focus game for this issue's battle is Sega's Decathlete for the Sega Saturn. Dr. Sasaya found the producer of the game,
producer Kumagai, and challenged her to a match. Photos show Drive Sasaya and producer Kumagai playing the game at the venue. Despite the producer's smile, Drive Sasaya managed to pull off a comeback victory. Separately, while at the show, Drive Sasaya was also convinced to enter a Tekken 2 tournament being held at the Namco booth. The challenge involved beating a companion to win a prize. Naturally, Drive Sasaya won and claimed his prize. The article encourages readers to participate in such events themselves. This page is a special feature showcasing this year's new games, marked by a distinctive red circle indicating a special selection. The page highlights a variety of upcoming titles across different platforms, including Sega Saturn, PlayStation, Super Famicom, and Game Boy. Featured games include fighting titles like Fighting Vipers, Fighting Illusion, K1 Grand Prix, Mortal Kombat 2, and To Ball No. 1, alongside RPGs such as Star Ocean and the classic Dragon Quest II. There are also unique games like 3D Lemmings, the adventure game Noel, and the intriguing Twilight Syndrome Investigation chapter. The page is visually dynamic, featuring various game screenshots. You can see vibrant pixel art from an RPG or strategy game, intense 3D fighting action, character portraits, and scenes from simulation or adventure titles, giving a glimpse into the diverse range of games covered. This page delves into the highly anticipated Sega Saturn release of Fighting Vipers, the next major 3D fighting game following Virtua Fighter 2 from Sega's renowned AM2 team. The feature showcases various aspects of the game, highlighted by multiple action-packed screenshots. Key features discussed include the game's signature armor-breaking system, which is crucial to gameplay, as well as the importance of the stage walls in both combat and presentation. The article notes the successful implementation of diverse character techniques, emphasizing the variety of moves each fighter possesses. It also points out the inclusion of in-game advertising, such as the prominent Pepsi logo seen in one screenshot, drawing a parallel to similar placements in games like Virtua Fighter 2 and Virtua Striker. A section detailing the development mentions a 50% complete version was shown at the Tokyo Toy Show, noting some remaining issues that are expected to be resolved in the final 100% build. The developers express confidence that the Saturn version will fully leverage the hardware's capabilities, promising a production that exceeds the arcade experience and the inclusion of an original mode. The preview indicates high expectations based on the progress shown. This page features the Sega Saturn title, 3D Lemmings, an action puzzle game scheduled for an August 23 release. The article celebrates the return of the beloved Lemmings series, now reimagined in a 3D environment, with new features designed to utilize the added dimension. The preview highlights the importance of controlling the viewpoint, allowing players to rotate the camera to navigate the 3D space and guide the lemmings effectively. It mentions several icons and traps, including the returning self-destruct option, bomb, and introduces new ones like the teleporter for instant movement between points, the turner to change lemmings' direction, and the spring to launch them into the air. The article suggests these new mechanics add challenging layers to the familiar gameplay. The opening movie is noted to cover the history of the series, which is a treat for fans. The maker's voice mentions the jump to 3Ds, enhanced graphics, and refined gameplay. This page features the Sega Saturn RPG, Cyberdoll, set for release on July 26, priced at 6,800 yen. The article highlights this tough, hardcore RPG set in a desolate near future, emphasizing its unique approach to character progression. There are no experience points. Instead, players grow stronger by defeating enemies, acquiring their parts, and incorporating them into their own cybernetic body. The character design, handled by renowned figure designer Shinya Tsukamoto, contributes significantly to the game's compelling cyberpunk atmosphere. Screenshots show the detailed character models, a battle scene with visible body part targeting, and a setting screen where parts are managed. The battle system involves strategic considerations, like the distance to enemies influencing weapon effectiveness, and the ability to target specific body parts. The settings section explains that acquired parts must be installed in specific rooms to be useful, and unwanted parts can be sold. Despite the 18+ age recommendation, the article explicitly states there are no explicit scenes. As an initial bonus campaign, players can receive an original character design art book by Shinya Tsukamoto and enter a lottery for an original t-shirt. This page previews the Sega Saturn port of the popular arcade game, Decathlete. This 3D sports title challenges players across all 10 demanding events of the decathlon. Leveraging polygons for its visuals, the game aims to replicate the intense competition of the real-life event. The core gameplay revolves around simple controls, primarily frantic button mashing for speed, and timing for actions like jumps or throws. While controls vary slightly by event, rapid button presses are key to achieving world records. The game features 8 characters, including male and female athletes with differing abilities. Screenshots showcase the polygon graphics and various events, such as the 100 meters dash, long jump, shot put, high jump, 400 meters race, 110 meters hurdles, discus throw, pole vault, javelin throw, and 1,500 meters run. The maker's voice emphasizes that timing and relentless button mashing are the essence of the game. This page introduces the PlayStation Software Studio P, scheduled for release on July 19, 1996, priced at 5,800 yen, and categorized as a tool and puzzle. Described as a powerful, multi-purpose, multi-tool knife for creating sound and graphics, it's positioned as exceeding the capabilities of some PC tools. Beyond its robust creation features, it includes many bonus games, ensuring it's packed with fun. These include an enhanced version of Poo with a story mode, a dice puzzle sequencer, and a flute-playing game. The software is presented as approachable and designed to be enjoyable and even healing. Its sound creation capabilities are extensive, featuring a sequencer with a large library of sound sources, multiple tracks, and various functions, allowing users to save their work and combine it with graphics they create. Screenshots showcase character customization, the dice puzzle/sequencer interface, the music sequencer, and charming characters like the boy Murakun and the bear Gonzalez. This page continues exploring the PlayStation Software Studio P, highlighting its diverse features beyond just music creation. The vase-making mode is featured, where you sculpt vases from virtual clay and can even smash those you don't like. The software boasts impressive graphics tools, capable of creating both 2D and 3D animations, including using 3D polygons. The main interface is presented as a cozy room containing various interactive elements like a sketchbook for graphics, a bucket, and a frog. Clicking the frog icon provides access to system settings like data saving and controller configurations, making the software beginner-friendly even without a manual. A unique bonus is the Mizukin Shibori game, specifically designed for the Negicon controller, involving transferring water between buckets by rotating the controller. A developer comment mentions planned features like analog stick support and a boat rowing game that didn't make it into the final release. This page dives into the upcoming PlayStation title, Fighting Illusion ESC-1 Grand Prix, promising a perfect recreation of the intense ESC-1 battles. The article highlights the game's focus on stand-up fighting, differentiating it from styles like Veil Tudo, and emphasizing the exciting potential for a one-hit KO. A signature of K1 featured are legendary Stork 1 fighters, with their unique moves like Andy Hug's spinning kick and Bernardo's hook, faithfully recreated in the game. The gameplay is designed to be accessible, with simple commands for special moves, but also offers depth with an AI that learns your style and a training mode to hone skills. The developers used motion capture technology to ensure the fighter movements are smooth and realistic, bringing life to the polygon models. Screenshots show dynamic in-game action, including powerful strikes and knockdowns, alongside a photo illustrating the motion capture process itself. The overall impression is a game that captures the unpredictability and thrill of K1, suitable for both newcomers and seasoned fighting game fans. This page focuses on the simulation game Noel from Pioneer LDC, slated for release on PlayStation. The game takes place in a near future where network terminals are commonplace, allowing players to connect and have long phone conversations with high school girls, aiming for a great Christmas. 3 featured girls are introduced: Kaho Shimizu, who is cheerful and likes talking about boys; Amy Sanokura, a quiet friend who isn't fond of phone calls; and Yuka Okano, a computer-savvy girl with a unique personality. The core gameplay is communication. A slot system presents icons during conversation that can be moved to a conversation pool to select topics. Success hinges on timing and choosing the right topics to deepen your relationship. The developer describes the girls as cute, willful, and individualistic, emphasizing that players should get to know them well through talking. This page previews Twilight Syndrome Resolution Chapter, a horror-adventure game for the PlayStation from Human, scheduled for release on July 19. This title continues the story from the previous game, Exploration Chapter, following 3 high school girls, Yukari, Chisato, and Mika, as they investigate terrifying rumors and delve into a world they shouldn't enter. Gameplay involves controlling the girls to explore locations and making choices in adventure sequences that advance the story. The game utilizes movie scenes and 3D sound to heighten the fear, with headphones recommended for the full experience. Player choices significantly impact the narrative, determining the outcome of each scenario from good to bad. Several chilling rumors are featured, including a mystery involving a disappearing friend linked to a strange shrine, a ghost rumored to haunt the gymnasium, a terrifying telephone call from the dead, and a dark boy. The page emphasizes that the truth of the Twilight world extends beyond the school, and the girls must uncover all the secrets to reach the hidden rumors. A note from the developer mentions a campaign for the previous game, encouraging new players to start there. This page dives into the brutal world of Mortal Kombat 2, coming to PlayStation this summer from Acclaim Japan. Known for its groundbreaking realism and shocking violence, the game features gruesome finishing moves where players can literally tear apart or eat their defeated opponents. This sequel ramps up the intensity, promising even more horrific spectacles. The article highlights the infamous fatalities, explaining that while standard wins are possible, the true draw is executing these extreme finishers. Unlike the first game, MK2 gives each character 2 distinct fatalities, plus stages-specific ones like the infamous Pit Death. Mastering the quick command inputs is key to unleashing these devastating moves. But it's not all gore. The page also reveals special performances, an alternative to fatalities. These include moves like friendships and babalities, where instead of killing the opponent, the winning character might give a gift or turn them into a baby. These moments offer a surprising, heartwarming contrast to the game's usual brutality. With 12 characters confirmed, each boasting multiple fatalities and unique non-lethal finishes, Mortal Kombat 2 on PlayStation looks set to deliver the gory spectacle the series is famous for. The page includes screenshots showcasing some of the gruesome finishers and the unexpected babality. This page introduces the PlayStation game Nazo-U or Mystery King from Bandai Visual, scheduled for an August release. This title is a quiz and adventure game, boasting an impressive 5,000 questions across diverse genres, from history and music to recent games, with quality questions supervised by the famous quiz king, Michitsuta Takeshi. The game challenges players to unravel the secrets of the Mystery Kingdom by tackling these questions, encouraging involvement from friends and family. There are 4 distinct quiz styles: standard multiple choice, true/false, a rapid-fire buzzer type, and arrangement questions requiring players to order items based on criteria like date or value. Adding a unique flair are the surreal and sometimes erotic story movies interspersed between the quizzes, featuring distinctive characters and settings created by staff who worked on shows like Ugo Ugo Ruga. The page includes screenshots showcasing the gameplay and some of these unusual cinematic sequences. The makers also highlight a battle mode for 2 players, described as particularly exciting for competitive rapid-fire quiz action. This page is dedicated to the PlayStation fighting game, Timbal No. 1. It announces the final participant has been decided, introducing the new character, Gurin Kutsu, or Green Cuts. Green Cuts is described as being from England, from a wealthy family, and a martial arts champion, now competing as a rival. The page also features mysterious footage, showcasing screenshots that appear different from the standard fighting arenas, depicting characters exploring a dungeon-like environment. The text ponders what this mode could be, noting differences from typical fighting game visuals like health meters. Further coverage includes newly revealed special moves, illustrating specific character techniques with screenshots and brief descriptions. The maker's voice highlights key features of Tobal No. 1, such as the 360-degree battlefield and the unique free battle system allowing free movement. They also mention the dungeon mode, where players defeat monsters, collect items, recover health, and delve deeper. They emphasize the distinctive characters designed by Akira Toriyama and the exciting combat. A surprising piece of information mentioned is that the game will include a demo disc for Final Fantasy Version 2. This page covers the Super Famicom RPG, Star Ocean, nearing its July 19th release. It teases the story, mentioning Ratic's journey to Astral Castletown, and a mysterious event involving Psychus upon arrival. A major highlight is the introduction of the Link combo system, allowing characters to chain up to 4 special moves in a single turn, significantly boosting combat effectiveness and making boss fights easier. Examples of combined techniques like the Kuhazan Senkuken are shown. The page also touches upon the game's system options, including adjustable message speed and sound settings for BGM and voice. The developers recommend Ilia's triple combo, which they say gives the game a fighting game feel. The screenshots showcase various battle scenes, character sprites, menus, and the visual effects of the special moves. This page introduces Namco Gallery Volume 1 for the Game Boy, a collection featuring 4 classic Namco titles. Released around the time of the Game Boy Pocket, this compilation includes Battle City, Galaga, Mappy, and Namco Classic Golf. The reviewer highlights these as iconic games that would surely be nominated among Namco's best. The title, Volume 1, hints at future installments, which the reviewer looks forward to. Screenshots and descriptions are provided for each game. Battle City is presented as a remake of the 1980 arcade game Tank Battalion, featuring a fixed screen like the arcade and Famicom versions, allowing for strategic defense using destructible bricks. It includes 2 modes and original GB stages after the 35th. Galaga is a shooting game where clearing enemies progresses you to the next screen. A novel idea mentioned is rescuing a captured ship to form a dual fighter. Challenge stages are also highlighted. Mappy is described as a chase action game featuring Mappy the mouse and the cat gang Nyamko. Players use trampolines to move between floors and recover stolen goods. The popular bonus stage with balloons is included. Namco Classic Golf is a golf game with a 3D-like perspective, featuring 2 modes. The reviewer notes, it's a perfect title for golf fans. A Maker's Voice comment points out the convenience of having 4 games on one cartridge, making it easy to carry around without needing multiple carts. Overall, the page expresses excitement for this compilation of Namco classics on the Game Boy. This page features Dragon Quest II, making its way to the Super Famicom. The article announces the official decision for its release and highlights the wealth of surprises and secrets packed into this new version. It emphasizes the ability to form a party with your favorite companions and customize characters with different jobs, just like the original Famicom Classic, but now with significant power-ups in both graphics and battles. Screenshots showcase the enhanced visuals, including beautiful, detailed towns and villages that boost the sense of adventure, and dynamic battle scenes with fully animated monsters. The article notes that experiencing the Dragon Quest world in this new form is something to look forward to, and the detailed graphics draw the player in. The battle system is highlighted as particularly impactful, with monster animations and magic effects adding to the excitement. The developer's voice mentions that development is progressing smoothly, and promises to continue introducing the world of Dragon Quest II. This port aims to meet the high expectations for this beloved title, often considered the peak of the series, on the Super Famicom platform. This page is a Dragon Quest fan mail and reader contribution section. Titled, Dragon Quest Ken Bunroku, it features diverse opinions from readers. Some express affection for characters like Tanya from DQVI, debating preferences against Japanese celebrity Noriko Kato. Fans share their gameplay experiences, discussing character builds, items like the Metal King Shield and Angel's Leotard, and humorous in-game events. There are also discussions about background music preferences, mentioning artists like Hiromi Iwasaki and Rebecca, and asking for song recommendations. Characters like Terry and Barbara are also popular topics. Another prominent section commemorates the Super Famicom release of Dragon Quest II, reflecting on the original Famicom version's legendary status and the cultural phenomenon it created, including the lines outside stores and media coverage. The article touches upon the challenges faced by fans, including criticism from some who didn't understand the game's appeal. Additional sections include Dragon Quest Extra Data and BioGen, showcasing more reader submissions, fan art, and general comments related to the series. The page captures the lively fan community surrounding Dragon Quest. This page features a step-up course for the football management simulation game, Sakatsuku, focusing on the early stages of establishing your club. It's the 5th volume in this series. The guide advises players on what priorities to set first when starting their club, emphasizing the importance of focusing on training content, securing excellent coaches, and improving club facilities to boost player performance. The page also presents a suggested best 11 lineup and tactical playstyles like 442, zone press, and libero, offering concrete examples for players. There's a section inviting readers to submit their opinions and wishes for building a strong club, fostering community engagement. Additionally, a significant multimedia section announces that July 27, 1996, is the day the Sega Saturn connects to the world. It highlights the console's new ability to access the internet via modem, allowing users to browse homepages, including sports information from around the globe, demonstrating that the Saturn is evolving beyond just a game machine. Reader submissions for the Strong Club section can be sent to the provided address. This page features an industry investigation segment where the reporter visits Pioneer LDC to get the scoop on the Sega Saturn version of El Hazard, which is slated for an August release. An interview with Mems Kimura from Pioneer LDC highlights the company's focus on leveraging characters and creating works that bring them to life. She explains that the Saturn version of El Hazard is based on the OVA and TV anime, featuring multiple endings reflecting the parallel worlds concept. The game aims to maintain the visual quality of the OVA and includes extensive voice acting. They are putting a lot of effort into making the characters appealing in the game. Images show a character illustration and a game screenshot featuring several characters, alongside a photo of Ms. Kimura during the interview. A small report section summarizes the impression of the interview, noting Ms. Kimura's passion for El Hazard and mentioning future developments like DVD releases to further utilize the characters. Finally, a Flower Talk section offers thanks for the interview and announces a giveaway of El Hazard posters, flyers, and phone cards. This page invites readers into the world of Nights into Dreams for the Sega Saturn, describing it as a place overflowing with dreams, where players can explore the vast sky of the dream world called Nightopia. The game fulfills the human desire to fly like a bird, allowing players to soar freely and perform acrobatic maneuvers. The page introduces the main characters, Elliot and Clarice, who are guided by the mysterious being, Nights. Several small screenshots are shown, illustrating the gameplay, where players fly through rings and collect items. This is presented as the second installment in a series about the game. Nights into Dreams was released on July 5, 1996, priced at 5,800 yen. This page continues the exploration of Nights into Dreams, following Clarice as she wakes up in the mysterious dream world of Nightopia. She discovers her 4 ideas, the essence of her personality and memories, have been stolen by the residents of the nightmare world and are trapped in idea capturers. To free them, she must collect 20 blue chips, scattered across the levels, to break the barriers surrounding the captive idea. The article notes that collecting all 20 chips can be challenging, as they are found in various locations, from valleys to treetops. The key to overcoming this difficulty is meeting Nights, a mysterious being who can synchronize with Clarice, allowing her to fly. Flying through the vast sky is described as feeling good and enables players to easily find chips and navigate by flying through rings for points. The page hints that the next issue will provide a detailed guide on aerial maneuvers. The bottom of the page includes a small section calling for readers to submit their experiences and artwork related to the game. This page is part of a new software encyclopedia, celebrating the recent launch of the Nintendo 64. However, it pivots to showcase upcoming titles for other Nintendo platforms. First up is Magical Drop 2 for the Super Famicom, a port of the popular arcade action puzzle game by Data East. It's listed at 70% completion and features fast-paced bubble-matching gameplay where you pull down and shoot colored drops. A cool detail mentioned is the ability to play as boss characters. Below that is Moguranya for the Game Boy, a puzzle game from Nintendo itself, listed at 100% completion. This charming title stars a mole who has to rescue his family, navigating over 200 stages filled with traps, and utilizing the unique mechanic of switching between the ground and underground layers. Hints are available from signs, and the game includes bonus features, like a strategy completion percentage display. Both games appear to offer engaging gameplay experiences for their respective systems. The copyright notice confirms the year 1996 and notes that the screenshots are from development builds. This page dives into upcoming software across various platforms, starting with the Game Boy. The Bomberman Collection bundles 3 GB Bomberman titles into one, offering classic maze blasting action, including the unique shop system from the first game and the puzzle-focused second entry. It supports communication cable battles for multiplayer fun. Moving to PlayStation, we see CRW/Counter Revolution War from Acclaim Japan, a simulation game based on a PC title. Set in the near future, this tactical battle simulation includes exclusive original anime scenes for the PS version. Back on Game Boy, Takara brings Neketsu Samurai Spirits, a fighting action game. This ambitious title utilizes an 8 meters cartridge to deliver a faithful port of the Neo Geo fighting mechanics, and even includes sampled character voices for added atmosphere. PlayStation also features Nitu Denden, Kari, from Takara, a fighting game with a peculiar premise. It stars popular Tujinden characters, reimagined as two-headed chibi versions, in a school setting. Despite the comical look, the gameplay is presented as serious fighting with a unique mime system for move combinations. Finally, the Virtual Boy is set to receive Shin Nihon Pro Wrestling Gekitu Densetsu from Tahami. This pro wrestling game features stars from New Japan Pro Wrestling and promises or stereoscopic battles, with signature moves rendered in 3Ds. This page features a lineup of upcoming PlayStation titles and a music visual Crodrom.
First up is Bastard
Ankoku no Hakaishin, Kari, an RPG based on the popular manga series, featuring a 3D polygon field and random encounters with a large cast of characters. Development is noted at just 2%. Screenshots show the party status and a dungeon environment. Next is Steel Dam, a 3D shooting game that incorporates fighting elements, emphasizing high-speed movement over blocking. It's listed at 100% development. Images display mech combat. Dumu no Yabu, Kari, is an F1 GP simulation game developed in Japan, focusing on detailed car setup and challenging circuits. It's currently 50% complete, with a wireframe car and circuit info shown. Namco Museum Volume 4 brings more arcade classics to PlayStation, including Pac-Land, Ishitaru no Fukatsu, a sequel to Tower of Druaga, Genpei Tumaden, Assault, and Ordain. Development is 10%.
Screenshots show gameplay from several included titles. Finally, for games, Koshien v Kari is a new entry in the baseball series for PS, using polygons and motion capture for realism and allowing players to edit pitcher styles. It's 80% developed, featuring screenshots of gameplay. The page also includes EPS for Tomo Yamamoto, a music visual Crodrom release presented as a media project rather than just a game item, featuring music, videos, and images of the artist.
This page features several upcoming PlayStation titles and a media release.
First is Sankyo Fever Downtown Geekisho, a pachinko simulator featuring popular comedians.
It's 100% complete and includes various reach actions shown in videos. Next is Deep Sea Adventure, Mystery of the Submarine Panthalassa, a simulation game across 2 grids, where you pilot a submarine on an oceanic planet to find your missing father. You explore the deep sea, encounter creatures, and can upgrade your submarine. Screenshots show exploration and customization. Tsuzuki Gustan-U is an action puzzle game, the sequel to Gustan-U. With over 100 stages, all new graphics, and 5 modes, it offers multiple endings based on clear conditions. Screenshots show a puzzle level. Simulations is a zoo management simulation game where you build and run a zoo, buying and breeding animals. It supports memory cards and a mouse. Screenshots show the zoo layout and animal enclosures. For racing fans, there's Super Technic Challenge, a driving simulation focused on drifting. It features multiple circuits and 8 cars based on real models, including a scenario mode.
Screenshots show a car on a track.
Finally, EPS 5. Junko Mizutani, Believer Dreamer, is a music visual Crodrom featuring images, original songs, remixes, and a video of artist Junko Mizutani. It's part of a media project exploring PS capabilities. The page also highlights the Hyper Stick, an arcade stick for PlayStation, noted as the official controller for the Hyper Olympic in Atlanta game, ideal for button-mashing challenges. This page introduces the Sega Saturn console and features 4 upcoming games. First up is Ogre Battle, The March of the Black Queen, a simulation game showing 50% development. It builds upon the Super Famicom version with updated graphics and a revamped system, aiming to capture the hearts of simulation fans. Screenshots show strategic battles and a unit data screen.
Next is Riglord Saga 2, a tactical RPG with a development percentage marked as unknown.
It emphasizes strategic depth through varied terrain, a world 3 times larger than the previous game, and over 200 types of skills. Screenshots highlight the tactical battle view. Then there's Virtua Fighter Kids, a fighting game at 85% development. This arcade port brings the popular child versions of Virtua Fighter characters to the Saturn, praised for their charming visuals and solid fighting mechanics. A new Combo Maker mode is mentioned for players to create their own combos.
Screenshots show the character select and in-game action.
Finally, Tokimeki Memorial Forever with You, a simulation game at 100% completion. This dating sim lets players experience 3 years of high school life, balancing studies, sports, and clubs while pursuing romance with various girls. A key difference highlighted is the graduation confession event and the inclusion of minigames. Screenshots show classroom views, status screens, and event scenes with different characters. Sega Saturn's upcoming games include Kaito Saint Tail, 50% complete, an adventure game based on the anime, featuring voice acting and original story elements. Assault Suits Lanos 2, 60%, is a sequel to the mech combat game, offering customizable suits, weapon options, and auto-aim. Shouryu Sangoku Enji, 100%, a port of a PC 98 game, is a real-time strategy simulation set in ancient China. Finally, Greatest 996, 100%, is a baseball simulation with 1996 player data, team management, and dynamic events. This page previews upcoming and recently released Sega Saturn and PC games. Virtua Cop 2 for Saturn, 15% complete, promises car chases, train sequences, and a female detective. Mysterious World El Hazard, 95%, releasing August 9th, adapts a popular anime per percent 98 game with a unique storyline. Playboy Karaoke Volume 2, 95%, offers hit songs and Playboy Playmate videos, including practice mode. Big Hurt Baseball, 100%, releasing July 26th, simulates the 1995 MLB season with motion-captured animations and all 28 teams. Finally, Virtua Fighter for PC, Windows 95, requires a Pentium 90 MHz or higher and 8 MB RAM. A preview of upcoming Sega Saturn and arcade games is presented. Rise of the Robots 2 for Saturn is a 100% complete fighting game with realistic CG robots, customizable colors, and Brian May's music. Panitsu Ojaman, a 90% complete arcade puzzle game, features speedy gameplay and strategic block matching. Master of Monsters Neo Generations, a 20% complete Saturn simulation game, allows monster evolution and class changes. Sonic the Fighters, a 100% complete 3D polygon fighting game for the arcade, pits Sonic characters against Drive Eggman in space. Finally, a strategy software guide for the Iron Hook Patchaslot machine is also mentioned. This page announces the next issue of 64 Rokuyon magazine, issue 014, set to be released on July 26, 1996, for 390 yen. The major feature for this upcoming issue is a large strategy guide for the highly anticipated game Super Mario 64, focusing on techniques for achieving the fastest clear time. The magazine promises plenty of other new game information as well. The page also includes a new game calendar section, listing recent and upcoming releases from late June and early July across various platforms including N64, Super Famicom, PlayStation, Sega Saturn, and Neo Geo CD, providing developers and prices for each title. This page features advertisements for 2 books from Takaraji Masha that are selling remarkably well. The first is Fantasy Science Reader by Rikao Yanagita, which applies real-world science to fictional scenarios from pop culture, like calculating what would happen if characters from Ultraman or Godzilla attempted certain actions. It highlights surprising scientific conclusions about these fantasy concepts and has sold over 270,000 copies. The second book is The Gospel of C by Shuhei Nie, described as a hard suspense novel. It involves cocaine smuggling and a perfect crime executed using computer networks, marking the debut of a powerful new author. This book has also achieved significant sales, exceeding 200,000 copies. This page is a full announcement for the first BS Satellaview Cup, also known as the Derby Stallion 96 Nintendo Breeders' Cup. This exciting event allows players of the popular horse racing simulation, Derby Stallion 96 on the Super Famicom, to pit their expertly trained horses against others nationwide via the BS Satellaview satellite data broadcast service. Entries were open until July 20th. Players utilizing the Satellaview adapter, which cost 18,000 yen, could receive unique horses and bloodlines, train them up, compete in special tournaments, and even watch the progress of the main races broadcast live. It's emphasized that this was a unique official Nintendo-backed event separate from other Breeders' Cup competitions happening at the time.